Hello and welcome to Anchorage Bucs baseball from a rainy Mulcahy Stadium. Will Hopkins alongside Vic Masley as the top seed in the league. The Anchorage Bucs host the third seeded Matsu Miners, and after both teams had games rained out yesterday, this is an instant rematch from the game just a couple of days ago. And with the Miners taking that one by a score of 1-0, I think it's pretty clear what the Bucs need to do today to improve upon that result, and the bats got to get going.
Yeah, the bats got to get going, but we've only played two games in the span of just 7 days. And in one of those games, the Bucks had 9 runs on the Glacier Pilots, and the Glacier Pilots are a struggling team, a struggling pitching team as well. But the Bucks still got 9 runs off of them, 4 runs in that 10-4 loss. Now more than a week ago to the Chinooks. It's crazy that it's been that long, and we've only played 2 games since then. But you're right, 0 runs against the Miners. But you got to give it to them. They have the best pitching staff in the league, the lowest ERA in the league, a 2.81. They're 3-0 this month in one-run games. Going back to the first half of the season, in total they're 4-6. But the first half of the season they were just 1-6 in those one-run games. So they have been really good, and it's been their pitching staff. Their hitting is still a little bit behind. They do score a lot of runs, but the average is on a little bit of a lower side. So the best thing to do is keep the pitching staff hot, and then get the bats hot again. But Will, I don't think it's going to take a crazy amount of runs to win this game.
Yeah, hopefully we can get 9 innings in, or at least five, as the rain has started here in the last half hour or so. But looking at that, Bucks hitting less than 5 runs in 7 of the last 8 games. Now, 2 of those were 7 innings, and one of them was only 6 innings. Those are including a couple of games from July 4th. But still, taken as a whole, we are used to this Bucks team
Hmm.
scoring 6, 7 runs over and over, and they have the pitching staff that they don't have to score that many runs, especially with Garvey Rummery on the mound.
Yeah, and Garvey has been great. And like I said, I think that he's going to go out there, and I'd be surprised to see him give up more than just a couple of runs. And that's why I said, Will, you do not need that many runs because this Miners team is struggling a little bit on the hitting side. Like I said, the 1-0 win yesterday or a couple days ago, it looked like a really dominant win for the Miners, and it was for the pitching staff. But in terms of hitting, they
Yep.
couldn't really get anything done versus the Bucks pitching staff. So I think tonight, if the Bucks can go and they can score 3 or 4 runs right at the start of the game, and just leave it towards Garvey Rummery to settle in a little bit. I think that that's perfect, and that's the best recipe for success.
And we talked before the game that this Bucks lineup is just about as strong of a lineup as they can put out there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Garvey Rummery and the man on the other side, Tucker Timmerman, when we come back. Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium. We mentioned that Garvey Rummery is the man on the mound for the Bucs, but first, the man on the mound for the Miners. It'll be Tucker Timmerman, whose last time out was against the Bucs in Game 1 of that doubleheader last Monday. But first, talking about his season as a whole: 5 games, 3 starts, 2-1 record, 17 innings pitched, just a .53 ERA. 3 runs, but only one of them earned. 17 hits, 18 strikeouts, and just 2 walks. And going back to that game against the Bucs, that was back on the 8th, a 2-0 Bucs win, winning both games of that doubleheader by a score of 2-0. He pitched 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, neither of them earned, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. 8 of the 9 Bucs in the lineup tonight faced off against Timmerman, who pitched well and just struggled with some defense that didn't really help him out in the second inning, which we'll get a bit into as the game goes on. But even with that .53 RA, that's actually the higher of our two pitchers.
Yeah, it's interesting because Garvey Rummery has just been amazing, and he's only started 3 games. He's pitched 5 times. This will be his 6th appearance, but in his 3 starts, he's just been magnificent and has really helped his ERA stay really, really low. And at those 3 starts, 2-0, 18 and a third innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run, good for a .49 ERA, and that's not even the lowest on the team. Zan Rose actually has a .45 ERA, but Zan does have a couple more innings pitched. So for Garvey Rummery, a .49 ERA, and that takes us all the way back to his first start. That would have been back versus the Glacier Pilots. Just went those 2 innings, but here against the Oilers, 7 1/3 innings pitched in that start, gave up 2 hits and no earned runs. And then more recently against the Chinooks on July 7th, 5 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits and just no earned runs. And he's just been super sharp for the Bucs all year. 3 non-earned runs against him, but the Bucs have done a good job when he's on the hill. Like I said, in total for him, and there's 18 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 3 runs, one of them earned for a .49 ERA. And so he'll be facing on the other side for the Miners. The visiting Miners will start out like they usually do with Drake Kerr roaming around in center field, leading it off for them. Chase Wilcox will bat in the 2 hole, playing at first base. Kyle McCausland bats third and plays in right field. Christian Perez, the designated hitter, will bat cleanup. Dom Patrizzi in the 5 hole will play third base. Brandon Duran will be behind home plate catching up Timmerman. And then Ryan Cochran will play at shortstop and bat seventh. Hitting eighth, Riker Scow will play in left field, and then Ryan Richard at second base, rounding out the order in batting ninth. Once again for the visiting Miners, Kerr, Wilcox, McCausland, Perez, Patrizzi, and Duran. Or excuse me, Patrizzi, Duran, and then Cochran, Scout, Richard, excuse me about that. And then going to our hometown Bucs, they'll lead it off with Will Burns, who will play shortstop. Cole Carlone will be the designated hitter, batting second. Hitting third, Andrew Lamb will play in right field. Batting cleanup, Ryan Callahan will play in left field. Then Tommy Eisenstadt will bat fifth and play at first base. Peyton Knowles will play second and hit sixth. Brody Briggs will be the 7 hole batter and be behind home plate, catching up Garvey Rummery. Josh Hankins will play at third base and bat eighth. Zane Kelly will be the center fielder and bat ninth. Once again, Burns, Carlone, Lamb, Callahan, Eisenstadt, Knowles, Briggs, Hankins, and Kelly. And that's all behind the starting pitcher, Garvey Rummery. And still the rain falling here at Mulcahy Stadium. It's lightening up just a little bit. We should be good for uh, opening pitch, but I'm not sure for the rest of the game. Of course, 5 full innings is all that is needed to count as a full game. The Bucs have been rained out left and right and have a ton of doubleheaders to look forward to as Will Burns makes his way on the field. For Will Burns, we've seen him in the leadoff spot a good bit as of late. He's been trading off time with Cole Carlone, who's also been the leadoff batter. Used to see Max Ross up there before his injury. Zane Kelly was batting up there. Zane Kelly has now found a role in the bottom of the order, but we haven't seen him play as much, so we're hoping his bat in the lineup will prove some success for these Bucs bats. So once again, a 1-0 loss the last time these two faced, and it was just two nights ago. And the pitching was spectacular for both teams. The Miners just able to scratch across that 1 run, and they never looked back. So Brody Briggs makes his way onto the field. That leaves Hankins and Kelly. Kelly getting the start out there. Hunsaker started the last game. So we will take a pause and we'll bring you the national anthem brought to you by the Mulcahy Stadium PA next to us. So we'll go ahead and send it to them as Garvey Rummery makes his way out on the field. We'll be right back.
Join us in honoring the record with playing with the national anthem.
Welcome back to Mulcahy Stadium, just 1 minute away from first pitch, more like 1 minute 30 seconds away, as Garvey Rummery set to make his warm-up pitches to Brody Briggs, the normal guy behind home plate for the Bucs, is catching up the starter tonight, who has just been magnificent for the Bucs all year long. Once again, 18 in the third innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run, a .49 ERA. Andrew Runn has a .51 ERA. And how about Brody Purcell, .63 ERA, and then Zan Rose, .45 ERA. These guys have just been phenomenal for the Bucs all year long. The pitching staff has just been absolute nails. So we're in for a good one, it looks like. Rummery, the lefty out there, the Bucs wearing their camo jerseys once again with the white base, the gray and black splotches with Bucs written across the chest and yellow outlined in white numbers on the front and back, and those nice pinstripe white pants, the white base with the black pinstripes, gold piping down the sides. And as for the Miners, they go back with their camouflage unis. We know them to be a streaky team and a little superstitious team when it comes to uniforms, wearing the ones that they went in and they won in those camouflage uniforms last time they played the Bucs, and the Bucs were also wearing their camouflage uniforms. So interesting that the Bucs go back to it. They don't want to switch things up, but the Miners will ride with the jersey that gave them the most success in a great pitching duel between this Miners staff and the Bucs as well. Unfortunately for the Bucs, it was Hostetler who just outlasted the Bucs pitching staff, and just unfortunate because the Bucs looked really good, but the Miners just even better. Hopefully the Anchorage Bats will wake up tonight, but like I said in the intro, we will not need, or hopefully not need, that many runs. The Miners have one of the lower averages in the league, but they score a ton of runs, which is an interesting factoid for the Bucs, also scoring a lot of runs, a lot of walks as well. Behind Garvey Rummery, setting the defense out in left field, Ryan Callahan, Zane Kelly in center, Andrew Lamb in right, Josh Hankins at third, Will Burns at short, Peyton Knowles at second, Tommy Eisenstadt at first base. And once again, the battery tonight, Brody Briggs behind home plate, and then Garvey Rummery on the hill. Throw goes down to second base. And heading to the plate is Drake Kerr, and stepping up to the mic is Will Hopkins for the play-by-play.
Appreciated, Vic. Like you said, camo versus camo matchup as the Bucs try to avenge that loss on Monday evening. 1 run was enough for the Miners. We'll see if Rummery can keep Kerr and the Miners off the board as he delivers tonight's first pitch, which is high and outside for ball 1. Kerr, Wilcox, and McCausland here in the first inning. Not much rain to speak of throughout the day today, and then about an hour before first pitch started to roll in, and expected to drizzle for the next little bit here. So hopefully nothing too hard and the players can play through it as Rummery misses upstairs again.
I think the biggest note for Rummery is just attacking these batters. The Miners put up really good fights, foul off a lot of pitches, but if you're not throwing them in the zone, they're going to take balls and they're going to walk all day long. They'll run on you too.
2-0 finds the top part of the zone, and for Rummery, we know that he's willing to pitch to contact. Not necessarily the biggest strikeout pitcher, and so he'll be okay with pitching that contact, and what we've seen from the Miners is not a ton of strong contact, so that could play into his hands favorably. 2-1 cut on and missed, and we've seen some of the pitchers that looked for strikeouts struggle a little bit against these Miners, so I think maybe a little bit of a different pitcher for them to look at today could work towards Rummery and the Bucs' advantage as he's fought back to even the count, 2-2 on the leadoff man, Drake Kerr. Looked like a slider that time that stayed too high. Rummery, out of San Diego State, was a freshman this season, celebrated his 20th birthday just a couple of days ago on Monday. 6'3", 195 out of California. Full count pitch, swung on and missed. Who said Rummery doesn't strike guys out?
Well, you might have said that, but you also did back it up with the fact that he does have that strikeout stuff. He had 6 strikeouts in his last outing, and that was only 5 in the third innings, Will. He just had 2 strikeouts in each of his appearances leading up to that, and that included the 7 in the third game versus the Oilers, where he just had those 2 strikeouts, but 14 fly ball outs. So he can do a little bit of it all. I think that's why he's one of the best pitchers for the Bucs.
So now the lefty Chase Wilcox. He squares to bunt and puts it on the ground down the third base line, foul. And Rummery, that 7 in the third innings pitched outing on the peninsula, just 2 hits. So his last 12 and 2/3 innings, which is just 2 starts, only 5 hits and no runs. Really impressive stuff over the last couple of weeks from Rummery, and hopefully he can keep it going again tonight. 0-1 gets the strike call on the inside corner, and if Rummery can get that, I think he'll be having a pretty good day.
Yeah, that pitch is really tough to pull the trigger on for lefty batters. It is coming inside the whole time, and you have to hit it really out front, and it's tough with that spin.
Wilcox fouls this one off to stay alive. He bat in the 5 spot on Monday, moved up to second. 3 new faces in the minors lineup from Monday, just 2 for the Bucs, as the last 2 batters, Martell Davis and Riley Hunsaker, not playing tonight. Another 0-2 to Wilcox, high and outside.
And even in the last game versus the Miners, that 1 run scored back in the first inning. Besides that, they just really weren't hitting the ball at all. The Bucs pitching staff was doing a really good job of keeping the balls away from the green grass.
And that one, he couldn't keep away from the green camo jersey as it comes in and hits Wilcox, and there's a base runner for the Miners.
And that's where you go wrong with that front door breaking ball for Garvey Rummery. The first one, he landed perfectly in the zone and gets that call on the upper inside part of the zone, and it's a really tough pitch to hit. But if you don't snap it right, it's going to end up running into the batter, and that's what happened there.
So now Kyle McCausland batting in that familiar 3 spot that we saw him at a couple of days ago. Takes 1 for a strike, and said it was 3 players new to this minors line. I believe it's actually 2, just Ryan Richard in that 9 spot and Brandon Durand in the 6 spot. So 2 for each side, as Baltz and Strohmeyer are not in the lineup. As that one misses. Or called strike, excuse me.
Yeah, big swing and a miss for McCausland there. Has that big, wide swing. He needs to shorten it up because he's really late on this fastball.
Rummery looking for his 2nd strikeout or maybe his first double play. The 0-2. Grounded out to third, a chance for Hankins. He goes to second for 1, on to first, and that throw will not be in time, but still the Bucs do get the lead runner in Wilcox.
Yeah, he's just too fast getting down the line, about halfway there before that ball was in the mitt of Peyton Knowles at second base, and Hankins rolled it perfectly. McCausland's just too fast.
That brings up the cleanup hitter. That's Christian Perez. Perez going 0 for 4 in Monday's game. Standing at first, McCausland. 2 away here in the first inning. First pitch swinging way up in the air, shallow left center field. Looks like it'll be the shortstop, Will Burns, and it is. So 1 runner aboard, stranded in the top of the first, but Rummery gets Perez to fly out. We head to the bottom half. Bucs looking to get the scoring started. Tucker Timmerman out on the bump for the Miners after a scoreless top half of the first inning. 6'3", 220. The Nebraska Cornhusker and Nebraska native. Saw him just back on the 8th in game 1 of that doubleheader, and like I mentioned, 8 of the 9 Bucs in the lineup tonight faced him that day. 5th place hitting first baseman Tommy Eisenstadt, the only one who'll be seeing him for the first time, as he offers to Will Burns, who grounds it to third. Patrizi gloves it, and one pitch retires the first man for the Bucs.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Burns take more pitches, but he's been struggling a little bit at the dish. The strikeouts have gone up just a tad, and he does have the most at-bats, so having the most amount of strikeouts makes sense with those 22. But considering that the next most is 10, guys like Christian Powell, who's not with the team anymore, and Zane Kelly, who hasn't played much, you just like to think that Will Burns just maybe trying to hit the ball early on in the count and see if he can find green grass.
Cole Carlone steps in and takes a ball. For Carlone, it was 2 singles against Timmerman, as he comes up empty on that one inside. Just a 2-0 Bucs win that day, and for Timmerman, Josh Hankins reached on an E6 to start the second inning as Carlone takes a ball, and after a sac bunt, a couple of singles, which included Josh Hankins being thrown out at home. So that's a sac bunt's your first out. Being thrown out at home is the second out, and you would have expected 3 outs because of that E6, but the inning continued, and the Bucs singled 3 times in a row as Carlone grounds one on the right side. Flip to Timmerman in time for the second out. But like I was saying, 3 singles in a row, so there's the first run. And then a pretty routine cutoff that went past the first baseman and even past the catcher, brought in a second run on that third consecutive single. So neither of those runs earned for Timmerman, and super unlucky to get the loss that day and for his team to get the loss. 2 away, nobody on for Andrew Lamb, who takes 1 low. For Lamb, it was a double and a couple flyouts to center field against Timmerman.
Lamb's a guy who's been seeing the ball really well and deserves to be in that 3-hole spot, which he's been batting as of late.
Just 4 hits for the Bucs on Monday, only 3 for the Miners. Lamb did reach base via walk, and he's ahead 2-0. Tips this one into Duran's mitt. Duran behind the plate, Wilcox, Richard, Cochran, and Patrizi around the infield from right to left, and then from left to right in the outfield, Scow, Kerr, and McCausland. 2-1 fouled away. So deuce is wild here in the bottom of the first inning. 1 base runner for the Miners. Bucs looking for their first here in the form of Andrew Lamb while Ryan Callahan waits on deck. Two. Good eye from Lamb.
Lamb's also been drawing a ton of walks. He's got a great eye. His walks are up to 12 now with 59 at-bats. And just 6 strikeouts, too.
Payoff pitch. That's too far inside. There's another walk. Make it 13 for the Bucs right fielder, and that'll bring the left fielder, Ryan Callahan, to the plate here in the first.
Bucs have been doing a good job of not getting sat down 1, 2, 3 a bunch, especially in the first part of games, but they have not done the best job of getting runners around and getting them in. See 2-out walks a good bit, and we saw yesterday the Bucs doing a good job early on in the game getting base runners on, but they could just never get them around well.
See if Callahan can improve upon that as he watches one outside. For Callahan, it was a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a ground out to second. First time facing Timmerman. Eisenstadt waits on deck as the only Buck in the lineup who has yet to see the righty so far this season. Late strike call from the home plate umpire, and I don't think Callahan liked that one very much.
Yeah, that one looked off the plate. I was a bit surprised, and even Duran behind home plate caught a little bit weird. I think that he'd get the benefit of the doubt.
Lamb's going early, and now Timmerman steps off, makes the throw to second, but it's not in time. Timmerman had his teammates yelling off, but it took him a second to back off that rubber, and Lamb able to slide into second safely. It's a runner in scoring position for the Bucs.
Well, I think what people forget is that, oh, pitchers should make that move instantly. Well, at the same time, a lot of things are going through your head. You don't want to balk, first of all, and you want to make sure that you get that back foot off the mound before you do anything else.
Lamb dancing around, and Timmerman steps off again. We've seen it from all the Bucs at second base this season, but especially Andrew Lamb. He really likes to dance around, and hey, why not get into the back of the mind of Timmerman, especially as he's facing a really dangerous hitter. One, a called strike, and I don't think Callahan liked that one very much either. And part of it is you kind of already thinking in your head, hey, it's 2-1 because you don't hear that strike call, but this home plate umpire so far tonight pretty consistently calling things on the later side. So now 1-2 with Lamb standing at second and 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Callahan puts it in play on the left side. A diving stop by Patrizzi. Makes the long throw across, and a great stretch by Chase Wilcox gets Ryan Callahan. They leave Lamb stranded at second. We head to the second inning, still scoreless. Will Hopkins, Vic Maslia, welcome back to the second inning here in Anchorage, Alaska. Don Patrizzi at the plate for the Miners to lead things off, and he made a really nice play to end the bottom of the first inning. A diving stop at third to get Callahan. See what he has to offer at the plate. With Garvey Rumry, the lefty, working on the mound. And he gets things started with a ball. Always got to watch a little extra second with this home plate umpire.
Yeah, an interesting zone too. He's given that up and outside corner to righties a lot.
That looks like a strike, and it is 1-1 on Patrizzi. After him, it'll be the catcher, Brandon Durand, and then the shortstop, Ryan Cochran.
That's a spot he's been given.
Yeah, it looked like a good breaker in the back door, but not good enough, apparently.
I don't know. Timmerman was getting that bottom half of the first, and Garvey was getting the top half.
2-1 fouled back. That'll make it 2-2 for Rumry. Just the hit by pitch in the first inning.
That was the one thing that went awry in that inning, and it was just the breaking ball, tried to go front door and didn't snap enough. And of course, with the rain, that could have just been it slipping off his fingertips.
Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2 for Garvey Rumry through 1 1/3, and now Durand will come to the plate with nobody on.
That one did not slip off the fingertips. It was placed perfectly, and Garvey's got a little bit extra on that fastball tonight, it seems.
For Rumry, it's been a little while since he's pitched. 10 days since that 4-3 win over the Chinooks. So that arm should be extra well rested as Durand fouls off the first pitch. Durand catching for the Miners back on Monday. It was Blake Baltz behind the plate. Oh, and 2 now to the Miners catcher.
And Garvey looks really comfortable out there, getting ahead of hitters. And making it so it's really hard to foul off pitches.
Brings the 0-2. Another swing and a miss. Third straight swinging strikeout for Rumry. And like you said, that fastball's got some extra zip on it tonight.
Especially when he climbs the ladder like that, he definitely has a little bit of extra velo. And I'm just wondering if tonight the Miners are chasing a little bit more outside of the zone. That one was definitely outside of the zone. And not saying that all of the 3 strikeouts have been outside of the zone, but just wondering if the Miners' approach is a little bit different than the last time.
High fastball is always tempting. That one's right down A Street to Ryan Cochran.
I like what Briggs did there. He was very confident that that was a strike, and it was almost right down the middle. But take it away. Don't even let the umpire have a second take at it.
Grounder up the middle. It'll be Will Burns, as Rumry is already heading to the dugout because he knows Burns is going to make that throw to Eisenstadt on target, and he does a super quick top of the second inning. It'll be the heart of the Bucs order when we come back. Rain continuing to come down here in Anchorage, Alaska, and things are moving along quickly as we'd love to get at least 5 innings in, but in order for that to happen, somebody's got to score. We'll see if Eisenstadt, Knowles, and Briggs can provide that here. Eisenstadt getting his first look at Timmerman as he leads off the second inning. Takes a strike.
And Eisenstadt has been, at the start of the season, an everyday guy in the lineup, and now has been not in every single game, I would say, switching off with Carlone playing first base, and I would say the designated hitter spot is between Carlone and Lamb and Ryan Callahan at times.
Yep, Callahan and Lamb have both shown an ability to play first base as well. Didn't go all the way around, but did make contact with that one and tip it into the mitt of Durand, and it looked like Eisenstadt was a little bit confused with Timmerman in that at-bat.
Yeah, it just seemed very uncomfortable. First call I did not like from the home plate umpire. Seemed a little too far outside for Eisenstadt. But the next 2 pitches were really competitive by Timmerman. Just had Eisenstadt off balance.
Now PK Peyton Knowles takes the ball, and we've seen him taking a lot of balls lately. He's been a walk machine over the last few weeks and sits at 15 walks. That's good for third on this team.
Yeah, his walks have just gone up tremendously. It's amazing to watch him at the plate. He's so comfortable out there. He's manipulating every single pitch, it seems.
Takes a strike and gives a little head shake of disapproval, and Timmerman's ready to go already.
Yeah, it seems like they've got the scouting report back, and now they're pitching a little bit differently to Knowles. Like I said, Knowles seems like he's running every single at-bat, and now Timmerman's taking control.
He's working quickly, that's for sure. High in the air to left field. Scow is under it, and there's the second out.
That was interesting there. Knowles and Timmerman looking like they were having a little bit of a talk. And I think Timmerman won that battle. He figured out that Peyton Knowles is a guy that likes to control at-bats, and those two definitely getting into it a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but I'd love to see a next at-bat between the two.
Brody Briggs steps to the plate. And yeah, Timmerman, watching that one back, he kind of looked like he started things. He walked over to first base and was making some eye contact with Knowles. See
Yeah.
if anything comes of that later in this one.
I think that Knowles is very emotional or exaggerative at the dish, and maybe does some things that not necessarily says anything, but maybe does some things that kind of promote that those mannerisms that he has. Well, he is the troublemaker for a reason, so I assume that he causes a little bit of trouble at the plate as much as he does on the base pass.
Briggs takes one low and outside, and much as he'd like to get that pitch called a ball at the plate, I'm sure he'll definitely be wanting one that close for his pitchers. Didn't seem to miss by much. Way ahead 3-0, and he takes a strike. Knew the call was coming that time.
Yep, Timmerman working lightning fast since the first couple pitches to Eisenstadt, I would say. This whole inning, really.
Seems a lot faster this inning than last.
I think he was too fast on that at bat, though. To Knowles, it seemed like he was comfortable because he was kind of combating Knowles' nature of, like I said, running at bats and kind of controlling things at the dish. Like we said, he's had a ton of walks as of late. He's able to get on base, and you think that he's manipulating the pitcher when he's on the base pass. Well, he also does it at the plate, and I think Timmerman figured out a way to put that to rest and get Knowles to have a lazy pop fly into the outfield.
So now Josh Hankins to the plate. He reached on an error in the second inning against Timmerman the first time around that got that 2-run second inning got started. Hankins coming into play hitting .220 with 10 walks, .371 on base percentage. Ton of on base percentages in the high 300s and even 400s for this Bucs lineup. First pitch finds the zone with Briggs over there at first base.
Hankins, a guy that was batting towards the middle and even towards the top of the lineup, has now been batting towards the bottom. His bat's been a little bit slow, but he's done a good job on the field, and he's also done a good job when he can get on base. He's really quick and gives the Bucs a good chance late in the games.
Picked up a hit on Monday. Briggs over there 4 for 6 on stolen base attempts, and there goes Josh Hankins' bat.
And Bill Springman over there, that's one you put your hands on your hips for. And Zane Kelly had to duck out of the way of that too. Springman with the pat on the bat, of course.
A little smile. I'm sure he had a joke or two to give to Josh Hankins. No more pine tar put on the bat.
I think maybe that looks like new grip.
Yeah. Hopefully it can stick in his hands and provide some magic. He's got to fight down 0-2 with 2 away here in the second. Brody Briggs standing at first. Hankins trying to bring Kelly and some more Bucs to the plate here. Long pause from Timmerman, and now the 0-2 grounded to short. Ryan Cochran going to go the short way to second, and Rashard gloves it for the third out. Another scoreless frame. We're still no runs on the board as we head to the third. Third inning, rain really coming down here at Mulcahy Stadium as Garvey Rummery works through this minors order for the first time this season, and so far so good. 1, 2, 3, second inning. Hopefully another one here as he faces 8, 9, and 1. First to left fielder, Riker Scow.
Just got to keep that ball dry, Will. That's the biggest thing right now.
Saw Coach Dunham put the rosin bag in a Ziploc bag. Try to keep that dry behind the mound so when they go to grab it, it'll be dry, and then put it right back in that bag. Ball and no strikes to Scow. Fouls this one straight back.
And Garvey now with 3 strikeouts, and first of his 3 or 4 appearances had just 2 strikeouts, and that included the 7 and a third innings pitch where he just had those 2 Ks and had a ton of pop flies. The last outing was 6 strikeouts and 5 in the third inning, so definitely has the ability to get those strikeouts. It's just a matter of how he's going to approach hitters, and tonight it might be more of a strikeout type of game.
Looked like he wanted to throw the fastball there after a couple shakes to Brody Briggs, and now Rummery in a good spot, 1 and 2 on Scow. Looking for strikeout number 4. And he's got it looking. Scow could just stand and stare at that one as Rummery painted the outside corner.
Yep, and I love that from Rummery and Briggs because they both know what the umpire has been up to. For righty batters, that up and outside corner has been free all night. Might as well go back there. It's been a little inconsistent, but you're up ahead in the count. Go back to that pitch. One of the harder things to hit in baseball is the outside pitch for most batters, and up and outside is even harder.
Ryan Richard takes a strike, and Rummery struggled with his command the first couple of batters in the first, but since then, he's really been pounding the zone. 1 and 1 now to Richard. High in the air over our heads. After Richard, it'll be the leadoff man, Drake Kerr. Rummery with his last batter here the first time through, and he misses upstairs.
Don't want to see the top of the order up with a runner on base here. I try to get Richard out pretty quietly.
Would love a second consecutive 1, 2, 3 inning. That'll help. Strike 3 called on the inside corner, and Rummery's getting both sides.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot, but I love Rummery taking advantage of it. Briggs, too. Maybe did try to go in too far in that time, but if he did, he hit his spot perfectly, and that is a really tough pitch to hit. It's coming in there hot, and you've got to meet it out front. It's a really inside pitch, and probably stole a ball there from Richard.
Came into this one talking about how Rummery's not a big strikeout guy. Well, he's got 5 already here. Pitches outside as Kerr pulls the bunt back.
I love the dugout yelling bunt there, making sure Hankins knows.
Hankins will stay in at the edge of the grass, it looks like, as he's continuing to backpedal, a matter of how far, and yeah, right at the edge of the grass. No bunt this time, and it's a beautiful breaking ball on the outside corner.
Briggs just does such a good job at sticking those balls and framing them really well. And those outside pitches to righty batters, inside to lefties, he's doing a good job of bringing them back into the zone.
1-1 hit in the air. That'll be out of play, foul. And now Rummery a strike away from his second consecutive 1, 2, 3 inning.
And the first 3 strikeouts you saw, Rummery just dominating, being able to throw it outside the zone and getting their chase and misses. I think these last 2 have just been painted perfectly.
That one's definitely too far inside. Kerr hopping out of the way of that one. Deuce is wild. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. Base is empty. Rummery looking for his second consecutive clean slate. 2-2. Grounder up the middle. It'll be Knowles sliding to stop it. Really impressive play to get to that one, but just by the time he got up, there was no play to make.
Yeah, that one hit up the middle, and Knowles is in the hole deep there at second base, and even if there's no rain, he's still not making that play, but did have a little slip up because it's probably pretty slick on that turf. But wouldn't have mattered either way. Drake Kerr is the fastest guy on the team, one of the fastest guys in the league.
Stolen base leader by some margin.
Yeah, it would have taken a very slow runner for Knowles to be able to get up and make a good throw over there and get the runner out.
Sliding's got to feel a little bit better in the rain, though, right?
Definitely doesn't give you that turf burn, I would say.
Runner goes. The pitch is called a strike. The throw down there. He got him. Tag applied by Will Burns just in time to get Dre Kerr, and the league's leading base stealer is gunned down by Brody Briggs. Rummery able to get out of allowing Kerr on to first, and out of the third inning. We head to the bottom half, still scoreless. Back for the bottom of the third inning. Great job by Brody Briggs getting that ball down to second base in a hurry to end the top half, as it'll be 9-1-2 for the Bucs here in the home half. Zane Kelly, Will Burns, and Cole Carlone.
What a great throw by Briggs. Looked like he had an extra reach back to get a little more velo on that baseball because he knows how fast Kerr is.
Kelly shows bunt and pulls it away. And yeah, like we said, Kerr, the league's leading base stealer, coming into play, and tried to add on to that total, could not get it done.
Yeah, I thought he had it stolen easily. I mean, not because of Briggs at all, because of the great jump he had. But Briggs, like I said, reaching back a little bit further than usual because he knows he has to have a little extra on it.
Kelly ahead 3-0, and that's just the third time that Kerr's been caught stealing in 19 attempts this season, so really impressive feat. 4-pitch walk, that's a great start for the Bucs here in the third inning, looking for their first run in quite some time after that scoreless game on Monday.
Yeah, but even though we've only played 2 games this week, you got to remember, in this week, in the span of just less than 7 days, the Bucs have put up 9 runs, so the bats are still there. It's just been a couple days.
Some low-scoring wins against the Miners previous to that. Zane Kelly at first, Will Burns at the plate. Burns squares to bunt. He gets one down the first base line. Glove by Timmerman, and he makes the toss to Wilcox, but Burns does his job.
Yep, great job moving the runner over. I think the Bucs are starting to realize this, or not starting to realize, but are really getting it in their heads that this Miners team is a really good pitching staff, and they know that small ball is probably going to be their best friend when facing them. Bucs have struggled to get extra base hits and really hard hit balls off of this Miners pitching staff, so might as well just try to move the runner around, and then now just a base hit should score him.
So now Cole Carlone to the plate, definitely the guy you'd like up with a runner on second. He's testing the left field line. That'll go just over the fence to the bleachers over there. Carlone often looking at the left side of the field, looking to go the opposite way. Tied for the team lead and runs batted in with Andrew Lamb trying to break that tie right now. And Lamb's on deck, so something to watch for this inning if either one of them can get Kelly in. Carlone trying that left side again, this one further foul. But for the Bucs, it's really incredible looking at these RBI stats. It's not one player carrying the team. Everyone's doing their part. Carlone and Lamb with 12, Eisenstadt, Kelly, and Ross with 10, Briggs, Callahan, and Enyart with 8, Burns with 7, Hankins with 6. Every player that has more than 4 games played has an RBI. Just really incredible stuff from this Bucs team.
Just spreading the wealth. Everyone's done their part. That's a big part of the Bucs bats and why they're so good is it's just not one guy doing all the work.
And we would say Carlone's the MVP, but that doesn't mean he's carrying the teams. Everyone's chipping in.
Of course.
Does a good job to stay alive here.
I like this approach by Carlone. He had a couple base hits off of Timmerman in the first game of that doubleheader, and I think he sees him pretty well. A righty-lefty matchup, and I like him testing opposite field. I think he knows that he's got some foul balls to work with.
See if he can square one up this time. 1-2. Puts this one in fair play or off his leg. It'll be off his leg. Hopefully he's all right. And he tells the home plate umpire that he is.
And that one, probably pretty lucky to get that back, and that was just an awkward inside-out type of swing. Seemed like the breaking ball tied him up a little bit. But like I said, really like this approach by Carlone. He's seen Timmerman well in the past and knows that he can afford some foul balls in the opposite field and maybe get his bat going around in the right way and hopefully lead to a straighter ball here.
Another 1-2 inbound from Timmerman. Swing and a miss. He gets Carlone on strikes. Big out for Timmerman with one of the Bucs' best hitters, but like we said, the co-RBI leader and Andrew Lamb now up to the plate.
Yeah, tough at bat for Carlone. Just couldn't lay off that heater upstairs. Good job by Timmerman. He was pounding the outside part of the plate. That's why Carlone was hitting it, trying to hit it opposite field. Totally changes the eye direction.
Lamb coming in today at 288, staying there after his walk in the first inning. As Timmerman steps off, Kelly over at second, a speedster, and now especially with 2 outs, single should definitely score him. Bucs looking to get the scoring started in this one. Lamb lays off one in the dirt. If Lamb can reach, it'll be Ryan Callahan. As Zane Kelly stands at second base. Kelly second on the team in runs scored. This one poked, but right at Ryan Cochran. Pretty unlucky for Lamb and the Bucs, who go down scoreless here in the bottom of the third. Third of the way home, no runs for either side. Top of the fourth inning here in Anchorage, Alaska. Bucs and Miners still scoreless. Will Hopkins here alongside Vic Massia will now have your play-by-play.
Thank you, Will. Rummery, Timmerman, both pitching amazing for their ball clubs. Lots of goose eggs so far. 6 of them in total. 3 scoreless for both of these pitchers. First pitch to Wilcox, misses low and away for ball 1.
And just one hit between these two teams, and it didn't even leave the infield.
That was Drake Kerr, just last half inning. Too far to run for Peyton Knowles. He was able to actually get there and track it down, but no chance at a throw, and that's the fastest runner you got. But Brody Briggs got him stealing as he tried to get into scoring position. 2-0 pitch, that's in the zone for a called strike. Now almost no wind tonight at all. The flags perfectly standstill. But a ton of rain. 2-1 right up the middle. Hits off of Garvey. And looks like Josh Hankins will grab it. But there's going to be no play at first base, and that's going to be a hit.
Yeah, more worrisome is Rumry kind of hopping up and down after that one hit him. See if he's all right. Believe it was his right foot. Yeah, it was that right ankle almost. We'll see if he maybe throws a warm-up toss or two, or if he's just going to stay in there.
I think it might be smart just because it is his plant foot. And normally with the foot that stays on the rubber, you're not using it as much and using it in a way that's extraneous. But that front land foot is definitely something that a little bit worrisome. But he looks to be okay. He's waving off training staff and Monty, so we'll give it another shot. That is unfortunate. It was a hard hit ball by Chase Wilcox, no doubt about that.
Still would have loved to see if Burns or Knowles could have made that play up the middle. And Rumry was doing the right thing, trying to hop out of the way. Just ball came in and hit him.
So that's going to prompt some bullpen arms to start to get warm. And now Briggs will throw down to second, way too high as it gets into the outfield, but Chase Wilcox will stay at second.
Yeah, wild throw from Briggs, but I don't think he was getting Wilcox anyways.
Big jump on that pitch as it was a ball. And like you said, no matter the throw, I think that Wilcox is in there safely. And like I was saying before, an arm has started to at least get stretched out in the bullpen. It is only the 4th inning.
45 pitches so far for Rumry, 15 balls, 30 strikes.
Now Kyle McCausland bats. Leadoff man already at second base. He's jumping around over there trying to fool Rumry as this one's fouled back our way.
And looking back at that stolen base from Wilcox is interesting. He didn't have a very big lead, but he accelerated really quickly.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hankins in line with third. Wouldn't be surprised the Miners try to lay one down here. And McCausland does not square the pitches outside. I think the Bucs were maybe expecting it. Little pitch out there.
Oh, also just the way to attack McCausland, the way his swing is with his left foot coming way towards third base. Got to attack him on the outside part of the zone. We saw him with a soft roller over to first on Monday. He just can't put a lot on those pitches on the outer part of the plate.
There is a large hole on the right side between Knowles and Eisenstadt. Next one, swung on and missed. Reaches for an outside pitch that could have easily been a strike, but like you said, with that swing, it is tough to get that bat barrel out there.
Yeah, even if it wasn't a strike, it wasn't far off, that's for sure. And the way he swings just makes it so much more outside for a hitter like him. I mean, I wouldn't dare throw anything on the inside. Why should you?
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Chase Wilcox, first runner in scoring position for both teams. That one misses way away upstairs. Full count pitch to come for McCausland. Christian Perez on deck. Flew out to the shortstop, and McCausland a fielder's choice. Ground ball out to Hankins at third. Rummery looks in, gets his sign from Briggs. He comes set at the letters, takes a look at Wilcox. Knowles not really holding him on, and now the 3-2. Just gets a piece of it foul.
But you can see how difficult it is for McCausland to get to those pitches, and you would think he'd have to make an adjustment with pitchers, I would assume, trying to go there often like we see Rummery doing, but McCausland having a good year at the plate, hitting .247 with 11 runs driven in, but he does have 14 strikeouts.
Seems like his back foot or front foot is almost restricting his bat from being able to reach the outside pitches. 3-2. Reaches for it there and fouls it away.
If I'm Rummery, I'm not giving in. No reason to come inside because I think that's what McCausland's trying to do here. Foul off those outside pitches and see if he can get one inside. The only way I'd think about going inside is if you try to get him to swing at a slider maybe that's coming in off the plate. But other than that, I wouldn't throw him a fastball on the inner part of the plate, that's for sure.
3 balls, 2 strikes, long at bat. The pitch by Rummery, check swing, and they're going to say he went around. So Garvey Rummery gets the swinging strikeout. McCausland thought he held his swing, but unfortunately for the Miners, that's one down, and Christian Perez comes to the dish.
And it looked like he did give him something off speed, kind of starting on the inner part and coming further in, also down in the zone. And McCausland, you'd have to imagine when he sees a pitch start middle or even inside, his eyes just light up because that's all he can really get to. Took advantage of that time.
Rummery induced a fly ball to Will Burns outside of the infield, the first at bat to Christian Perez. First pitch, second at bat, and a big swing and a miss. A breaking ball fading away from him. Of course, in the bullpen, the arm's not really actually going, just there, just in case that Rummery gets into more trouble this inning. If anything, we'll just be stretching out there. No balls, one strike. Wilcox stands around there at second base. Rummery's going to look him back.
Loved that first pitch breaking ball to Perez, though. Definitely didn't seem like what he was expecting.
See if Rummery tries to fool Perez again. Lefty a long look back, and now the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Went back to the breaking ball. Back-to-back big swings and misses.
That ball just looks so appealing for so long of its journey towards home plate. Can see why these hitters are tempted to swing at it.
See if he can get Perez again. Both lefties ready. Rummery brings an 0-2 pitch now. That's in the dirt. Good stop by Briggs.
Got to be so nice knowing you have Briggs back there, even with a runner on second, or even if he was on third. Not a huge worry for Rummery if he puts one in the dirt that runner's going to be able to advance.
So Rummery gets a new baseball. One of the first times I've really seen that. You'd think with the rain coming down, we'd be seeing a ton of baseballs get exchanged by Rummery on the hill. Rain still coming down pretty heavily. Not heavily, I would say, just misty. 1-2. Popped up left field. Ryan Callahan will have to come in, and a lot more than he was expecting as he makes that grab. Mind you, there's no wind, but the topspin on that ball, or maybe the rain affecting it.
Yeah, I did not expect him to have to come in that much either, but was able to keep his eye on it and just continue tracking it and did a good job.
A light rain here, but it has been coming down pretty consistently since first pitch. Seen it pick up at times. Now the batter, Dom Patrizzi, struck out swinging back in the second inning. We'll play a longer inning for Garvey Rummery as he gets the swing and miss by Patrizzi. Up to 56 pitches, which is definitely like a normal start now before the first 2 or 3 frames. Seemed like he was barely throwing 10 pitches per inning. 0-1. Fouled out of play. Overcast day, cloudy day, and we've been seeing this a lot as of late here in Anchorage.
Yeah.
A lot of rainouts.
We went so long without it.
Yeah. It was interesting to see a fully rainy day. 0-2's in the dirt, another good stop by Briggs. And I think we've just been lucky because other parts of close by here to Anchorage have been getting a lot of rain. I've seen and I've experienced when we get down to the glaciers, it's always raining over there. I'm sure that's normal. We've just been spoiled up here in Anchorage. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the pitch from Rummery. Fouled back.
And, I mean, you can tell looking at the home plate umpire's suit jacket that he's got on. I mean, he's drenched. A little tougher to tell with the players, but won't stop coming down. Got a soccer match going on the football field beyond left field, and all the fans got their umbrellas out.
Of course, with the camouflage, the rain's just supposed to drip off, I heard. Doesn't actually stick. 1-2. That one didn't stick, and it was in the dirt. Another good stop by Brody Briggs.
I heard the rain can't even find those jerseys, so it just misses them altogether. Good thing for the fans here at Mulcahy Stadium, if they got tickets behind home plate, they'll be dry. That covering right below us.
The Bucs are hot. Those tickets are hard to come by. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for Dom Patrizzi. Another long at-bat for Garvey Rummery. See if he can retire him now as this is lifted into right field. Andrew Lamb has that in his sights and holds that one in for out number 3. So Rummery works around the leadoff base hit to Chase Wilcox, and he leaves him stranded at second base. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Bucs bats looking to come alive here. Still scoreless in Anchorage. Welcome back. Vic Masley and Will Hopkins here with you at Mulcahy Stadium. Stepping up to the dish is Ryan Callahan. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bucs, still against Tucker Timmerman, who has been working lightning fast as of late.
Yeah, he really has. Ever since that first inning, he's really picked up the pace.
First pitch to Callahan misses just a bit low and away. Eisenstadt on deck, then Peyton Knowles. 1-0 pitch misses in the dirt again. Timmerman, after that at bat to Eisenstadt back in the second inning, has just seemed to flip a switch and has just started working super fast on the hill. 2-0. Ground ball to first. Wilcox has it. He'll underhand toss to Timmerman, who is covering the bag. That's out number 1.
Timmerman just continuing his good work. Bucs got to get a hit, but it's crazy. The Miners, both their hits staying in the infield. We haven't seen a single hit beyond the infield.
Yeah, the first one crept up the middle, but Peyton Knowles was able to wrap leather on it. Just a fast straight curve, no chance of getting him. And then Chase Wilcox, the inning after, ground ball that hit off of Garvey Rummery. Super hard hit ball. This one is tapped to third base. Patrizzi, nice play. Low throw, but scooped out by Chase Wilcox at first for the second out. Just one pitch took care of Eisenstadt, and 2 down for Peyton Knowles.
Yeah, if you're Knowles here, maybe got to take some time for Rummery, but we know that Knowles is a pretty good guy to do that.
Yep, he's drawn a lot of walks, and just in general, him and Andrew Lamb do a good job of stalling the pitcher and making them slow down. First pitch from Timmerman. Misses. Peyton Knowles trying to keep up with Timmerman now, maybe a little reverse psychology. 1-0, misses again, and Timmerman's not getting that lower part of the zone.
Yeah, he isn't. That throw from Duran back to Timmerman would have missed low too. Had to make a nice play out there on the mound.
2-0, misses again. It seems like the same spot. Timmerman's a little frustrated out there. He'll take a stroll off the mound. Last at bat to Peyton Knowles. He got him to fly out. Knowles was ahead in the count, and Timmerman just working super fast. 3-0 pitch. Knowles at the green light, just gets a piece of it. One looked like a strike, though.
Yep.
Knowles and Timmerman having a little something to say to each other after that at bat. See what happens after this one. 3-1 is poked into left field. Long run for Scow, but he makes it just shy of the warning track. So Timmerman fell behind, 3 balls, no strikes, but is able to get Peyton Knowles and the 1-2-3 inning. We head to the 5th, still scoreless here in Anchorage. Welcome back, top fifth. Nothing going for either offense as Duran steps up to the plate now. Brendan Duran struck out swinging back in the second inning off of Garvey Rummery, who's still out on the hill for the Bucs. A longer top half of the fourth inning compared to the first three frames from Garvey Rummery, but that just involved a runner in scoring position, and that was really it.
Yeah, 22 pitches for him.
First pitch here is fouled away, but like I said, despite having an increase in number of pitches that inning, it was not a crazy inning by any means.
Not at all, and the only reason Wilcox even reached in the first place was a ball off Rummery's foot.
0-1, check swing, they'll appeal. He did not go.
Good pitch, though. You can see how tempting those ones that start over the middle of the plate are to these righties.
1 ball, 1 strike. Next one catches the outside part of the plate. A wins by Duran, but that call has been there all night.
Yeah, especially with the fastball.
1-2, swung on and missed. Rummery looked like a changeup
That's what I
away,
was gonna
something
say.
darting down, and he gets the swing and miss from Duran, and that is looks like a pitch that is not competitive at all, but I can assure you that it starts over the plate a little bit, and it just totally drops off.
Started it at basically the exact same plane as that fastball, just a pitch before, and then it just dies right when it gets to home plate, and Durand and most hitters are going to swing over top of that one almost every time.
So that'll bring up Ryan Cochran, the shortstop, and a beautifully placed breaking ball that looks like either the slider or curveball. I'm not sure which one he throws, but one of
like a
those two.
slider.
Yeah, a lot of horizontal break. Another jinx there, and another slider. It looks like, but he just missed it low.
He really looks confident out there, and he should. He's pitched really well tonight and really well his last few times out, really all season.
1-1, big cut and a miss, and that fastball's got a little extra juice, and Cochran trying to mash it, but just got a piece of it, but not enough, just a sliver, and it ended up in Briggs' glove. So Rummery ahead 1-2, working fast. The pitch in the dirt, a good stop by Briggs.
I was telling you during the break, we're really moving along here.
Oh yeah.
Just over an hour, and we're 1 out at the top of the fifth, but one of these teams got to score. Hopefully the guys in black and yellow.
Yeah, and that would have been the feeling in the last game, but of course the Miners got the first and only run back in the first inning, so it was kind of a point where we made, well, the Bucs have got to score. Try to come back, check swing, he did not go. Count runs full. But now tonight, it's not just the Bucs have got to score, both teams, someone's got to score. We got to go home at some point. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Garvey gets the pitches he wants. The pitch is fouled away.
And talking about that run in the first inning, that was a fielder's choice. It was bases loaded with nobody outs, and the Miners only coming away with 1 run, which seemed like a victory at the time, but in the end, it wasn't.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. The pitch. Oh. I don't know where that one missed.
That's what it takes for Rummery to issue a walk, huh? First one tonight.
Yeah, that. I mean, if Timmerman's having a tough time, I guess Rummery should have a tough time on some of those calls, and that one was a really good pitch, and I think that Bucs coaching staff just wants a little clarification on where that missed exactly. Maybe inside, maybe a little bit down, I'm not sure, but that looked really competitive. So Riker scow up. Rummery has that great pickoff move. Shades of Max Fried in MLB, where he picks up that leg and he doesn't go, when you cross your body with the leg, you have to go home, but when you pick it up straight, you can go to first base, and sometimes you inch towards home and you can still go towards first, and it's just a really devastating move. So that one misses downstairs.
Yeah, Cochran's definitely got to be careful over there with the lefty on the mound.
Only 3 other base runners were because of the hit by pitch, and then 2 base hits. Besides that, nothing. Runner goes, the pitch is fouled back.
A little bit surprised to see Cochran going there. Just 1 stolen base attempt so far this season. It was successful, but for a team that runs a lot, him only having 1 attempt made me think he was going to stay put, but not the case.
Didn't look like he got a great jump, and didn't look like he was running as fast as he could. Makes me think that it was just a hit and run.
Yeah.
So see if he tries to go again. This one is low and away. Also, Rumray being a lefty can't really get the best jump, so makes me think more that it's definitely a hit and run. But we'll see what the Miners try to do here. 2-1. Still scoreless here. No team budging. Next one misses up and away. Rumray would love to get that ground ball double play. He's had a couple opportunities to get it.
And not just looking at Monday in this game, but also the doubleheader. Just not a lot of hits in the last few matchups between these teams. I believe game 1 of the doubleheader, 10 hits. Game 2, 6 hits for both teams combined. And then just 7 on Monday.
Hitters count for Scow. The pitch. Called strike, and he's going to have to get that bat back in his hands. And that one did look a little bit high for Scow, but I don't know. With what these calls have been tonight, it's really just luck of the draw, and unfortunately for Scow, it does not get lucky.
And in fairness to him, you wait a second, you don't hear anything from the home plate umpire, then you think that it's time to take your walk.
It's not like he really did it right after the pitch was thrown. Gave a little grace period. Now 3-2, swing on and missed. Garvey Rumray comes back. Might have gotten the gift, but he makes it worthwhile. A full count strikeout. That's 2 this inning.
And that's got to be pretty frustrating for Scow and feel really good for Rumray. Guy was trying to take first base via walk, and instead he's heading over to the right side of home plate, but instead towards the dugout.
That is 8 Ks now for Garvey Rumray. That is the season high by a couple, 6 in his last appearance. First pitch, catches the outside part of the plate. Ryan Richard at the dish. Struck out looking in his last at-bat.
Yeah, Rumray 15 strikeouts in 18 and a third innings coming in, and now 8 and 4 and 2/3.
0-1 misses outside. And those 6 strikeouts coming in 5 and a third innings, so definitely has that strikeout stuff. You can do it in those limited amount of innings. Go back to first, nothing doing. And that 7 and a third inning game just had the 2 strikeouts. It's interesting, but I think it just goes to show you how good of a pitcher he is.
Yep.
He's able to not rely on being a strikeout pitcher or contact pitcher.
100%.
1-1 count to Richard. Rumray taking his time on the hill. This one is fouled back, and
there goes another bat.
Yeah. Slipped out of his hands.
Understandable on a night like tonight.
Nothing like Hankins, where it almost hit Springman and one of the batters in the on-deck circle, I believe Zane Kelly.
Well, we saw it from the Pilots a few weeks ago on a clear night, which obviously not as much of an excuse for, but with all the rain. Totally understand it.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Cochran at first. The pitch. Too far outside. Bucs dugout trying to will that over the strike zone, but they're not going to get it.
Seemed like it was a little bit more outside than some of the ones we've seen called as a strike.
Definitely.
Even a little bit more outside than a pitch we saw called for a ball in the second pitch of this at-bat.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rumray brings it. And now the runner goes. Delayed steal, and Cochran's going to be in there, no problem.
Well executed. Caught Briggs and this Bucs defense a little bit off guard. They were trying to get the strike call. Didn't look like a strike to me. And smart play, and now a runner in scoring position.
I think Briggs might be asking the home plate umpire if maybe he called that a strike, and which would be something that I'd be curious with, because with the late calls like that, you can never be too sure if he actually calls it or not. Maybe he didn't have enough time to call that last one with Briggs having a pop-up. So another runner in scoring position. Back-to-back innings for the Miners. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch misses downstairs. That's another walk. Seems like activity in the bullpen starting to ramp up a little bit, as Brody Briggs will make a mound visit. So now the top of the order due up for the Miners. There are 2 outs, but runners at first and second.
Yeah, over 80 pitches now for Rumray. Last couple of innings, he's had to throw a few more than he did in the first 3. Still definitely think he deserves a chance to get out of this inning, and I think Coach Springman, Coach Montez and company will give him that chance.
So Briggs, Rummery taking their sweet time out there, maybe giving some time for the bullpen to start getting going. And now that meeting breaks up. Cochran at second. He walked, stole a bag, and then Richard just walked, so that'll bring up Drake Kerr. And Hankins can't be too far back over there at third base, even with 2 outs. Drake Kerr's got the speed to leg out a base hit bunt.
Hit a single in the infield to Knowles last time up.
So a fresh at bat for Garvey Rummery. We'll see how he starts Drake Kerr. Now time called. I think it's Drake Kerr who received it from the home plate umpire. On deck, Chase Wilcox. Both of these two have base hits, the only base hits. The bottom half supplying the base runners now this inning with 2 walks. 7 and 9 batters. Rummery brings the first offering, and it's swung on and missed by Kerr. He's late on that fastball.
Huge to get ahead 0-1 with a couple of guys on it. It might not seem like much, but in such a tightly contested game, this is the biggest threat really we've seen from either team.
Looks like it was Adam Inyard who was the first one tossing out there in the bullpen for the Bucs. Rummery ready, the 0-1 in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And a little bit surprised that it's Enyart. We've seen him so much lately work the 9th.
One ball, 1 strike, 2 down here. Next one catches the outside corner. Great pitch by Rummery. Just been pounding that outside part of the plate to righties.
100%, and Brody Briggs helping him out by framing each and every one of them.
One ball, 2 strikes. Rummery ahead in the count. Drake Kerr always putting up a good fight. We'll see if he can here. 1-2, swung on and missed. Rummery takes care of Drake Kerr, no problem, as he strikes out the side. Besides the 2 walks, how about 3 swinging strikeouts? The Miners go down and leave 2 stranded on the base pass. Now it's time to score some runs. How about the Bucs? See if they can do it in the bottom half of this 5th inning. We'll be right back. Bottom half of the 5th inning, good job by Garvey Rummery working around those 2 walks and was able to get 3 swinging strikeouts and ending with Drake Kerr, one of the best hitters for the Miners. So I bet that feels good, and bullpen is quieted down a little bit. But now Brody Briggs steps up to the plate. First Tucker Timmerman out there for his 5th inning and gets a called strike on the outer half.
Not so sure about that one, but let's focus on Rummery for a second. 9 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's remarkable considering that game we saw on the Peninsula with 14 ground balls, as this one is a ground ball through the middle.
That feels good. Base hit.
A base hit for Brody Briggs. First one of the night for the Bucs, and a big howl from the dugout. They know what that means, and a leadoff base runner, but more importantly, a leadoff base hit is huge for this Bucs team.
It was about time. Wasn't hit particularly hard, but placed really well right back up the middle. second consecutive inning, I believe, we've had the leadoff guy on, and would be good to see it count for something, or maybe second time in 3 innings for these Bucs.
Yep, leadoff guy on back in the 3rd inning. And that sac bunt by Burns, but a strikeout and a line out from Timmerman, who's looked really sharp. So Josh Hankins bats, and he cranks this to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Timmerman left a breaking ball over the heart of the plate, and Hankins didn't miss it. If he lets that ball travel just a little bit more, that one could be even more damage than what he just did. But that ball also tailing away from him, and I shouldn't say that that was a complete hanging breaking ball by Timmerman. Hankins did a good job of reaching around and getting his bat over the plate. That one looked like it was even a little bit on the outside part.
Yeah, and crazy what one hit can do. Hankins now first pitch swinging after the hit from Briggs, and that's Hankins' first hit against Timmerman this season, and Bucs have a little something brewing, and it's great to see a couple of guys on, not just in general, but specifically with nobody out.
Seems like the Bucs have been trying to manufacture runs with 2 down. 2 days ago they could not do that versus the Miners. Struggled to do so against the Chinooks in that 10-4 loss. Now Chase Wilcox creeping way up as Zane Kelly squares to bunt. We'll see if he can lay it down, and he cannot as he does not remove his bat from the strike zone. That one is going to be a called strike. Wilcox almost passed Tucker Timmerman when Zane Kelly was trying to square to bunt at that ball. Patrizzi stays at third base. Kelly swinging away, foul tips and misses at that.
And for Kelly, it's been a few games without a hit. Would love to see him pick one up here, but now in a pretty tough spot, down 0-2.
Timmerman way ahead. Wilcox still at the edge of the grass. Maybe a 2-out bunt as he's expecting. Long look in. Timmerman working much slower now. Takes a look at Briggs. Now the pitch. Zane does bunt and he gets it down. Back to the pitcher. Timmerman goes to third and they get the out. A good play by Tucker Timmerman. A gutsy play. But he does get that first out and a big one.
Yeah, Kelly a little bit upset with himself that time, hitting it so hard back to Timmerman. Was not expecting him to square with 2 strikes, but he did. But in the end, it'd be the same as if he struck out swinging, really, as the Bucs have a couple of guys on first and second, now just with 1 out.
So Hankins swaps places with Briggs as he is out at third base. First pitch to Will Burns is a called strike. Top of the order due up now. Just 1 down, still a runner in scoring position. Zane Kelly swapped places with Josh Hankins. He's at first. Already a longer inning for Timmerman. We got some ducks on the pond. Next one, swing and a miss by Burns. He's down 0-2.
Would hate to see us get to 2 outs so quickly, but Timmerman's done a really good job of pounding the zone since Briggs and Hankins got on.
0-2 ground ball foul down the third base line. Still 0-2. Adam Inyart still in the bullpen warming up.
9 straight strikes to start this inning for Timmerman.
He's pounding the zone. We'll see if the Bucs keep swinging. Might be time for his first ball right here, though. 0-2. Nope. Swing and a miss by Burns. He is down on strikes, and suddenly 2 are down very quickly.
I mean, really amazing stuff from Timmerman. Seemed like he was maybe getting a little bit rattled. First a soft base hit from Briggs, and then Hankins hitting one pretty hard, but he's really flipped a switch since that. But this is the guy you want up at the plate.
So Cole Carlone, leader in average for the Bucs, as well as slugging. .338 he's hitting. He's driven in 12 runs. That is also a team leading with Andrew Lamb as he grounds this one softly to first. Chase Wilcox has an easy play, and one pitch takes care of Cole Carlone. Just like Rummery stranded two Miners, Timmerman strands 2 Bucs. It is still scoreless here for the Miners and Bucs as we head to the 6th inning. Top of the sixth inning, Garvey Rummery is out. Adam Inyart is in. We are used to seeing Inyart later in games as of the more recent past. He has had a couple of saves now, 2 to be exact, but this is his 7th appearance. He's all coming out of the bullpen. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, just the 2 earned runs, sporting a 2.70 ERA, and he has been really sharp for the Bucs as of late, Will.
Yeah, on Friday he pitched the 9th inning, not a safe situation as the Bucs were up by a score of 9-1 against the Pilots. That 1 inning pitch did give up a hit, but that was pretty soon canceled out by a 6-3 double play to secure that win. No walks, no strikeouts that day for Enyart. And for Garvey Rummery, another outstanding performance. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts.
So that one, 5 innings. He did go 5 1/3 his last time out, where he had 6 strikeouts, and this time it is, I think, in his least amount of innings in a start, has the most amount of strikeouts. So a great job for him. Leading it off is Chase Wilcox for the Miners. He fouls that one back. Wilcox had a single and stole a bag back in the 4th inning. That was one of the first real threats for the Bucs, or against the Bucs. Last inning also had a runner at second base as well as first. See if Inyart can have a clean 1-2-3. The 0-1 pitch, fouled out of play. Bucs had the leadoff base hit, had back-to-back base hits, and then 3 straight outs. Tucker Timmerman doing a really good job. Got Zane Kelly to bunt right back to him, and he went to third base to get the lead runner. 0-2, ground ball out to short. Will Burns has that. The throw low to first, but a great pick by Tommy Eisenstadt, who bails him out.
Great pick indeed. We're so used to seeing Burns make a super accurate throw. He'll be a little bit upset with himself, but always good to learn a lesson without paying the price, huh?
Yeah, and maybe Burns, as he was looking the ball into his glove, just forgot the speed of Wilcox and maybe rushed that throw. So he saw Wilcox getting down the line pretty quick. But no harm, no foul. Kyle McCausland grabs the bat, grounded into a fielder's choice, and has struck out in his 2 lone appearances. A long last at bat to Rummery, who was able to get him swinging. 3-2 count, and McCausland fouling off pitch after pitch. One of the longer at bats we've had, but still not as long as the ones a couple days ago, as McCausland cranks this one foul.
That's what's going to happen when you throw one on the inner part of the plate. But at the same time, it's going to be hard for him to keep it fair. And as far as Enyart goes, seeing him here in the 6th, he's only recorded more than 3 outs in a game once. That was against these Miners, going 1 2/3, giving up 2 runs super early on back on June 8th.
1-1, and he fires that fastball right by McCausland, who's super late on it.
More recently pitched against the Miners in a scoreless inning back on July 8th, so June 8th and July 8th.
1-2, fastball again, called strike 3. McCausland missed the first fastball and doesn't even attempt at the second one. Adam Inyart breezes that one right past him.
After McCausland hammered that pitch on the inside part of the plate foul, Enyart made a concerted effort. The next pitch was a little bit further on the outer part of the plate, and then this one on the outside corner. And I mean, it's what you have to do against McCausland.
First one to Perez, big swing and a miss. Christian Perez has flown out twice, but swings he's been taking has been really close to striking out both times by Garvey Rummery. Big swing and a miss there, and he's just looked uncomfortable at the plate, and that's why I said I'm just surprised that he's been able to put the ball in play. See if Inyart can get the best of him here. Working really quickly. 0-2. Called strike 3. Adam Inyart gets 2 strikeouts, and he's fired up as he heads back to the dugout and has something to say for the Miners. Christian Perez might get a little bit of chippy here. We'll see how things fare in the bottom half of the 6th. Still no score in Anchorage. Bottom half of the 6th inning, a good job by Adam Enyart. Gets back-to-back strikeouts after the ground ball out and puts down the Miners quietly there in the 6th inning. And now it's Andrew Lamb. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Bucs here against Tucker Timmerman, who's still out there for the Miners and deservedly so.
Only 65 pitches so far.
66 is a called strike to Lamb.
And you said 3, 4, and 5 be a great part of this Bucs order to get something going. I feel like in a game like this, the first run is huge.
Timmerman quickly brings another one, and this is grounded out to Richard at second. He fields and throws, and one down here in the 6th.
Outside of that single from Josh Hankins, we just haven't seen anything hit particularly hard from either team. And that time, another slow roller and a pretty easy play for the infield.
Yeah, Briggs and Hankins providing the only base hits for the Bucs. Timmerman is quickly already ready as he now engages with Ryan Callahan. The first pitch misses low, and last inning with some traffic on the base pass, the first time that's really happened to Timmerman. He seemed to slow things down a little bit, but has quickly ramped it up here in the 6th.
Yeah, you must have somewhere to be, huh?
Yep, and big swing and miss to Ryan Callahan. Still breezing right along here in the hour and 30 mark, and just about done with the 6th inning. That has slowed down a little bit. 1-1, right down A Street, a called strike.
Not only does he get ready quickly, but his modified windup, he shuffles those feet quickly.
1-2, check swing, he went. The ball gets by, Callahan racing towards first. Here comes the throw, and it's offline. Callahan's in there safely.
And a good job to get back to first, because he did go on the left side of that first base line, and Timmerman was all over it trying to tag him out.
So that is a strikeout for Callahan, but he does reach first base because that one got by Duran, and it was on the upper part of the zone. Don't think it was a strike, but he got the chase from Ryan Callahan, but unfortunately Duran couldn't hold that one in, and Duran has been really good all night because Timmerman's been really good, but still. So now Eisenstadt grounds this one through the hole and through. Ryan Callahan takes a big turn, but he'll stop at second base. And a base hit from Tommy Eisenstadt on the first pitch. Another two runners on rally, but this time with one down.
Yep, good job by these Bucs to get something going.
So Peyton Knowles at the dish. Not sure exactly how the exchanges started between the Miners and the Bucs, but I think that at-bat between Knowles and Timmerman, the first at-bat, was definitely where emotion started to get big here. See what this at-bat holds in store for the Bucs as Peyton Knowles fouls this one away. A drop third strikeout where Callahan reached, and then a base hit sets up the Bucs. 2 on with 1 down. Wilcox was way in on that last play where Eisenstadt dribbled it past him. If he'd been further back, he might have had a play. Obviously had to hold the runner on in Callahan. Knowles ready, 0-1. Ground ball, that might get through. A good play by Richard. He flips to first and just in time gets Peyton Knowles 2 down as the runners advance 90 feet.
Really good play that time from Richard. Was not easy at all. And he made it look much easier than it was, that's for certain.
So that'll bring up Brody Briggs, who supplied the first base hit for the Bucs, and 2 runners in scoring position, 2 RBI opportunities to break open this game. The righty Timmerman facing the lefty Brody Briggs. Base hit just last inning. See if he can provide some more magic for the Bucs. Rain really starting to come down now as the first one misses in the dirt. Wouldn't be surprised to see Timmerman throw that ball back out, but he's going to take it.
And if you're the Bucs, you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get. You have to take advantage here, even though there's 2 outs.
1 ball, no strikes. Timmerman ready again. Rain coming down harder. Beautiful breaking ball,
Ooh.
Called strike, and that one floating perfectly in the zone. A tough pitch to hit for Brody
Yeah,
Briggs.
not much you can do with that.
Prime opportunity for the Bucs. First time a runner for both teams has been at third base. Pass ball, wild pitch should score Ryan Callahan, but Timmerman's been sharp all night. 1-1. Gets the outside corner call.
Briggs doesn't like it, but in fairness, he's gotten a couple of calls for Enyard and for Rummery.
Down to the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Briggs didn't see many pitches in his first base hit last inning. Seeing more in this at-bat. 1-2. Off the fingertips, fouls it away.
Impressive to get any wood on that one. Definitely not the widest part of the bat that he hit it with at that time.
Cloudy and rainy day here in Mulcahy Stadium, making it tough for these batters, but not the pitchers.
It's really coming down now.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Timmerman set at the letters. The pitch just gets a piece of it foul. A good job by Briggs. That one probably ball 2, but still a tempting pitch.
I was surprised Briggs even stayed in there. Thought he was about to call time. Timmerman really pausing before he started his delivery that time, and impressive from Briggs to stay in and get some wood on it.
Timmerman a long look in, and with traffic on the bases for the second straight inning, has once again slowed things down. And now Briggs will step out. A wise decision. Timmerman taking a long time, and he does such a good job of changing up everything. He is not predictable at all. You don't know when he's going to speed you up, slow you down, deliver it fast, or take his time when he comes set. Taking his time right here. 1-2. In the dirt. A good eye by Brody Briggs. Deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Still scoreless game here. Will Hopkins, Vic Maslia with you at Mulcahy Stadium. On just an ugly night here in Anchorage.
Yeah, it's gotten worse.
Sure has. Hopefully make it through this game, but someone's got to score. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Ground ball foul. A good fight by Brody Briggs. One of Timmerman's longest at-bats.
And in any scoreless game, the first run would be so key, but in a game that you're not 100% is going to go 9 innings, it's even more important.
Timmerman will try again with the 2-2. Here it is. And Briggs fouls that one away, and this is by far the longest at-bat for Timmerman.
This will be pitch 9 to Briggs upcoming, and he's just done a fantastic job of fighting here at the dish.
Briggs not looking to do too much with it. Would not be surprised if he tries to flare one out opposite field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 9th pitch, and it is just a bit outside. A good eye by Brody Briggs, and that did look off the plate. But if you're Tucker Timmerman, kind of like, why isn't that the 50-50 call? I don't get.
Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do. Bring that breaking ball in on the outside corner.
Full count pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Timmerman set at the letters. The pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Brody Briggs takes his well-earned base on balls, and that will load him up for Josh Hankins, who also has one of the only 3 now base hits for the Bucs.
And this was the hardest, for sure. Roped it into left field, also reached via fielder's choice. So hasn't been retired yet, at least himself, and would love to keep that going as a member of the Miners dugout's going to come have a word with Timmerman.
Looks like there is activity going on in the bullpen for the Miners. Adam Enyard has started jogging back to the Bucs bullpen, wondering if he'll get some extra tosses in. Not sure if he'd come back out there, but I haven't seen anyone else warming up in the Bucs bullpen.
The lefty Luke Smith over there for the Miners. Still tossing, and I think that Timmerman's going to stay in here.
The plate umpire now going to go check on things, and if Timmerman is coming out, it's a long exchange to buy some time. If not, it's just a longer conversation in general. Josh Hankins ready to go, and it will be Timmerman, so no pitching change.
What a spot in this game. There just haven't been that many opportunities like this. And for Hankins, you'd love to get 1 run, but with 2 outs, you might get 2 on a base hit. So that would make it an even bigger deal for these Bucs.
A drop third strike. Callahan reached first. A base hit by Eisenstadt and a walk by Brody Briggs. But 2 down for Josh Hankins. First pitch to him. Big swing and a miss. He's trying to get them all in on just one swing. See if he shortens up a little bit. Springman, Sanagorski having a talk with Hankins before this at-bat. But with 2 down, bases loaded. Probably just telling him to crush that thing. 0-1. Too far outside. And with the scoreless game for the Bucs just a couple days ago, it's felt like a while since they put up a really big number, or any number at all. First big break could be right here. 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch to Hankins. Right down the middle for strike 2.
Yeah, a little surprised we didn't see a swing from Hankins on that one. Looked like a pretty decent pitch to hit.
Down their final strike of this inning. They were with Brody Briggs, and he fouled off a lot of pitches to stay alive. On deck, Zane Kelly, but first Josh Hankins with a 1-2 count. The pitch is just fouled away. Hankins able to get a piece of it. And Hankins is a guy that the lights are never too bright for him. Is very calm, cool, and collected. You know, that nonchalant throw from third to first we see all the time because he's just so comfortable out there. Doesn't rush things. See if he takes this at-bat slow right here.
Might need those lights on here soon.
Long look in for Timmerman. Hankins going to call time. A wise decision. And that's just Timmerman probably out there trying to mess with the timing for these Bucs. Not necessarily like he's uncomfortable and doesn't have the pitch he wants. Him and Durant have been on the same page this whole game. See if they are right here on this 1-2 pitch. That one's downstairs. And again, it is deuces wild, this time for Josh Hankins. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. See if the Bucs can get some luck here. They are much overdue. Callahan at third, Eisenstadt at second, Brody Briggs at first base. 2-2. Called strike 3, and Josh Hankins goes down on strikes. Timmerman leaves the bases full of Bucs, and we head to the 7th inning here. Still no score in Anchorage. Welcome back. Adam Inyard still on the hill for the Bucs, and tough luck. Bases loaded. There were 2 down. Bucs just couldn't get anything done. Timmerman has just looked sharp all game. But back for the play-by-play is Will Hopkins, and hopefully you have some better luck.
Appreciate it. Adam Enyard doesn't seem to need luck on the mound to ground out in 2 strikeouts in the 6th inning, but for him, hasn't had a lot of multiple inning work so far this season, and it was an extended rest as the Bucs were at the plate in the bottom of the 6th, so we'll see how he fares here in the 7th, facing 5, 6, and 7. First of which is Dom Patrizzi, who takes one up and in.
Yeah, just a missed opportunity for the Bucs. You feel like even with 2 outs there, gotta just scratch across 1 run. Anything is so important in this game.
A base runner is a rally. Gotta have a playoff mentality, and hopefully Enyart can keep those bases empty for a 2nd consecutive inning. Patrizi shows bunt, takes it away, doesn't matter, that's in the zone. Enyart's fastball definitely has some life to it, an arm that's been more and more relied upon over the last couple of weeks, and rightfully so, as he gets another strikeout. That's 3 now in his first 4 outs, and these Miners can't seem to hit Enyart any better than they hit Rummery.
No, not at all, and that one of the swinging variety, and he just overpowered him with the fastball. Patrizi was super late on it. Got McCausland and Perez both looking, where he just placed both of those pitches exactly where he wanted them to, but that one just overpowering Patrizi, and it was a strike too.
So now Brandon Durand, who's already struck out swinging twice, starts behind 0-1, and we were talking about how confident and at his own pace Timmerman looks out there, and Enyart is one of many Bucs pitchers who you can definitely say the same thing about. He looks so confident out there as he gets a ground ball to Will Burns, who gloves it, and a strong throw to Eisenstadt, and 2 quick outs for Enyart.
Yep, it was going very similar to how last inning went. A ground ball to start the inning, but that was also to Burns. Just getting weak contact over there, and then the strikeouts, of course. And with a game like this where runs are so hard to come by, it can get emotional out there for pitchers especially. So not surprised that Timmerman and Enyart are definitely letting those emotions get out on strikeouts, big strikeouts too.
And speaking of strikeouts, Ryan Cochran at the plate, one of just 2 Miners who hasn't struck out. It's only him and Chase Wilcox. Everybody else has 1 strikeout and 5 guys with 2.
12 strikeouts total, 9 for Rummery, now 3 for Enyart.
Not a lot of hard hit balls in this game, that's for sure. Enyart's 2-0 to Ryan Cochran. And there's another ground ball. This time it'll be Hankins. Crosses in front of Burns and makes the throw to Eisenstadt. 2 ground balls and a strikeout. A clean top of the 7th inning. Time for a stretch here at Mulcahy Stadium, and then some runs for the Bucs when we come back. Back here at Mulcahy Stadium after the 7th inning stretch. New man on for the Miners. It's number 25, the lefty, Luke Smith.
Yeah, Luke is set to make his 9th appearance, all coming out of the bullpen. He's not started a game. He's 1-0, just 1 decision. 11 1/3 innings pitched, 15 hits, but just the 5 earned runs. Good enough for an ERA just under 4 at 3.97.
And for Smith, this will be his 2nd time against these Bucs. Pitched back in that crazy 10-9 Bucs win on June 8th and did not fare well. An inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 3 runs. Just 1 of them was earned, but a walk and a strikeout, gave up a home run in that one. So hopefully the Bucs can get some of that action back. And the man who hit that home run is up to the plate. It's Zane Kelly.
Yep. And it was a lefty-lefty matchup too.
Kelly pulling that ball down the right field line. This time fouls it off on the left side. His most recent game was 10 days ago for Luke Smith back on the 7th. An inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts though. Struck out the side. Zane Kelly will hope to prevent that as the count evens. Give you the line on Timmerman, and it was impressive. 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts. It's now up to these 2 bullpens after the starters did fantastic jobs for both sides. Timmerman and Remry, as Kelly chased one a bit downstairs.
Yeah, and the way Smith pitches kind of coming around the side a little bit, it seemed like it'd be really tough for lefties and Zane Kelly to be able to hit that ball. So getting a home run off him is really impressive.
And had him looking a little bit silly up there. Luke Smith definitely getting his payback that time.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, that, like I said, that is a really tough at bat for lefties, and the heavy lefty hitting lineup in the Bucs. Hits might be tough to come by, and that's tough to say because they're just running out of outs here.
Scoreless still at Mulcahy Stadium, as Will Burns takes one low.
Yeah, Carlone, who's on deck, Andrew Lamb, Ryan Callahan, Tommy Eisenstadt, all lefty bats. Same with Peyton Knowles and Brody Briggs. Josh Hankins, Will Burns, the only righties.
1-1 now. Bucks' last run coming 5 days ago, in large part due to rainouts, but also no runs so far today, and no runs in the entirety of the game on Monday. This one put in play on the right side should be easy for Richard, who makes it more difficult than it has to be. And Burns beats it out. I'm not sure why Richard went underhand. We've seen him do that a couple of times, but it cost him there.
It sure did, and it seemed like he was fumbling it in his glove, and it was just really tough to get it out. And when he finally did get it out, he did not put a lot on that at all, and it was kind of a little looper towards first base, and it really needed to be a line drive.
So it looks like that'll be scored as an E4. And now Cole Carlone to the plate in a game that the margin for error is so small, you just gifted the Bucks an extra out. As Carlone takes a strike. But the Bucks did score a run in that 9th inning against the Pilots, as they were the road team, so even with the big lead we're batting. So it's now been, let me do the math here for a second, 9 innings on Monday plus 6 1/3, 15 1/3 innings since the Bucks have touched home plate. Let's end that here.
Yep, seems like it's been a week. Burns hustling it out. Gotta love that over there.
Really seems like a routine ground ball, but speed kills, that's for sure. Just a bit outside. 2-1 now to Carlone. Carlone, no hits so far, and with a guy like him, you just feel like he's bound to break out. Hopefully that's right here for these Bucks.
Yeah, he's due for a base knock for sure. And it's hard to say that with the guy batting almost 340, but he is.
Long look at Burns, who's not going, and Carlone kind of backing out that time, and pitch almost found the zone.
Yeah, his tall height probably helped him out a little bit. That pitch has been called a couple times before tonight, but stands tall up there, 6'3", 6'4". Probably not going to get that pitch on the lower half of the zone.
3-1 grounder to second. Richard fumbles it, goes to second, and that is way late. He slams the turf and made a great play to even get to that ball. He scored a single for Carlone, and he didn't have time to flip to Cochran, and definitely didn't have time to throw over to first.
Yeah, a really good job by Richard just getting over there in the first place. That ball hit super hard by Carlone. That's what makes him such a good player, just hitting the ball hard to all parts of the field. And he would have had to make that flip on his belly and make it or a really awkward angle. We've seen some big leaguers do that, but of course, Will, that's why they're big leaguers. They can make that play, and it's really tough for a guy at this level or a guy that at any level besides MLB to make that play, even MLB players themselves. So definitely going to go down as a base hit. That was a really tough play to make and something he shouldn't hang his head on.
Yeah, I think he's just really frustrated that he couldn't get the ball out of his glove. Would have been difficult to make that flip accurately, even if he did, but wanted to at least give himself a chance, and by the time he did give himself a chance, it was definitely too late. But for the Bucks, you gotta take advantage of these opportunities the minors are giving you.
And early on in the season, really the first half of the season, first month, it seemed that the Bucks were getting a lot of favors from infield and outfielders for other teams, and errors left and right. This first game where they played the Miners had 3 or 4 errors they gifted to the Bucs, and it's a large reason why the Bucs were able to come around to win, not because of those errors, but because of how the Bucs responded by taking advantage of those errors, and they need to do so here tonight. It is make or break, and it might be the reason why they win or lose.
Time for Andrew Lamb to take that tie with Cole Carlone for the RBI lead for himself. Looking for number 13 with Will Burns at second base, and we know Burns can run. Lamb's got to put one in play and get those wheels churning for Burns at second and Carlone at first. Smith ahead 0-1. Burns puts this one on the ground to the left side. Patrizzi steps on third for one. A long throw over to first, and on one hop, Wilcox able to field the double play. An abrupt end to the bottom of the 7th inning. Who's going to score? 2 innings to go, and no one has yet. Top of the 8th inning, still scoreless. A pitcher's duel that's extended into the bullpens, and a large part of that's been Adam Enyart, who's had 2 scoreless innings. He's looked really good so far. 3 strikeouts in those 2 innings. Looking to keep the success going. A ground ball to Will Burns. He backhands, and this throw perfectly on target to Tommy Eisenstadt.
Yeah, that's the 3rd ground ball to Will Burns at short for Enyart, and actually that is the 4th ground ball that has been onto that left side. Hankins also had one too, so it just goes to show you that he's getting these Miners righties to be early on the baseball and getting them to roll over and have ground outs.
And the one to Hankins, I think Burns could have had too.
Yes, that was hit more towards Burns actually.
Pitch is way outside, as Richard showed. Bunt may have spooked Enyart a little bit. And even though the Miners came out of that bottom of the 7th unscathed, you know Richard's going to be looking to do something here at the plate. Unable to make a couple of plays in the field this last half inning. Puts this one high in the air, shallow left field. Will Burns on the turf makes the play, and Will Burns now 2 outs in this inning by himself.
Yep, and even though that one's a pop-up instead of a ground ball, still getting them to be a little bit out front early on it. And the foul balls are towards the left side of the field too, so just going to show you that Enyart has the ability, this is a great part about Enyart right now, is he has the ability to blow by this fastball, and they can't even catch up to it because they're so late.
Paints at that time.
But when he throws that breaking ball sometimes, or takes a little bit off of one of the pitches, you can tell that they're just too early on it. So it's a really tough time finding the right bat speed.
Exact same spot, exact same result, and Kerr's going to have to figure things out quick against Enyart after going down 0-2. 25th pitch coming from Enyart, looking to complete his 3rd inning, and he gets a foul tip. Thought that he got him swinging on the breaking ball, but Drake Kerr just barely getting a piece of it.
That would have been disgusting. What a great pitch by Enyart, and I don't know how he got a sliver of that, just maybe 1 stitch of that baseball.
Didn't get much of it at all. Still 0-2 though. Enyart looking for his 4th strikeout, and instead fires a little bit upstairs. But if you're Enyart, that's okay. There is such thing as throwing too many strikes, and got to keep these batters on it. 6 balls, 20 strikes so far for Enyart. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here comes from Enyart. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 4 for Adam Enyart. First one here in the 8th. It's another 1, 2, 3 for the reliever. Gotta get some run support. Bucks come back to the plate when we come back. Great stuff from Adam Enyart, keeping things scoreless. Still Luke Smith out there for the Miners. It'll be the middle part of this Bucks lineup. Ryan Callahan, Tommy Eisenstadt, and Peyton Knowles. Said it before and said it again. This is the time. Bucks got to get something going.
Yeah, just 6 outs left, Will, and yes, the Miners' bats have looked pretty quiet all game too, but you just never know, and you really want to get out of this game winning it before you have to go into the bottom of the 9th inning, or even after.
9 guys left on for these Bucks so far as Callahan takes a strike. Just 4 for the Miners, so you'd say so far the Bucks are the team that has let a few more opportunities go by. Oh, and 1 cut on and missed.
And I think after that first called strike, Callahan just a little frustrated with the zone behind home plate by the umpire, and Santa Gorski over there at third just telling him to slow down a little bit. You can't control what the umpire's going to call, just have to control your reaction and how you handle the next pitch.
It's been a big zone all night. 0-2, that's definitely not in the zone, no matter how big up and in on Callahan.
I can see Callahan work back and try to get back into this count, force a 2-2, 3-2 pitch.
Reached on a strikeout last time with a wild pitch, and he's going to strike out this time and isn't going to reach as that one painted on the outside corner by Luke Smith.
Yeah, just a really good pitch, and I think for the Bucks batters, they just have to be aware that the zone is a little bit large tonight and have to accept the fact that they just might get down in a lot of counts and have to work back and get some foul balls and just try to disrupt the pitchers a little bit.
Maybe it's a game where it's a solo shot from someone. Tommy Eisenstadt looking for his first homer of the year. Going to be tough lefty. Cranks it out to center, but easy play for Drake Kerr. Trying something. Gotta try something. These bats just can't get anything going.
Seems like every single at-bat for Eisenstadt, he's been swinging on the first pitch, except for that strikeout back in the 2nd inning. But that ground out, the base hit was first pitch swinging, and that fly ball right there. So, but it's tough when you have a tight zone or an expanded zone for the pitcher. It's tough to want to stay in the count and try to just do something on the first pitch.
See what PK can do. He looks at a beautiful strike from Luke Smith. And we were talking during the break, maybe the Bucks look to use a pinch hitter at some point, especially against Luke Smith because of how many lefties are in this lineup, but not to be this inning so far as Knowles rolls over 1. It'll be 3 unassisted as Wilcox steps on the bag. A lightning fast 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th. We head to the final frame. Someone's got to score. We'll be heading to extras. final frame, at least final scheduled frame here at Mulcahy Stadium. Andrew Rudd on the bump, where first we'll close things off on Adam Enyart because he was absolutely fantastic for these Bucs. 3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. But what do you got on Rudd?
Well, Rudd is a part of that under 1 ERA club, sporting a .51. In his 7 appearances, he's 2-0, just 2 decisions. He's not started a single game, so those 2 decisions coming out of the bullpen where he's come out of every single time. And but for those 7 appearances, 17 2/3 innings, he's given up 16 hits, but just 1 earned run. And he's just been absolute nails. A guy that can come in and just throw the 1 inning, or he can come in and be a bridge guy like Enyart, throw 2 or 3 innings. But tonight, probably just the 1, maybe 2 innings.
Yeah, last time out we saw him pitch 2 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. For the righty, he'll face 2, 3, and 4, Wilcox, McCausland, and Christian Perez. Still scoreless in the top of the 9th. And if neither team can score here, we'll have our first extra innings game of the season. Of course it would be a game when it's pouring down rain.
Yep, sounds about right.
That one just missing.
And the reason I say Rudd could pitch more than just the 1 inning is because of those extra innings. Of course, no one up in the bullpen right now. So Rudd would pitch this inning and hopefully Bucs walk it off. But if not, then we'll go to extras and Rudd will probably be the first man out there. Wilcox not liking that last call, though.
It's been a big zone all day. Hitters got to make the adjustment. As Wilcox stays alive for Rudd, this is his 2nd time facing the minors. He pitched in game 1 of the doubleheader sweep, finishing things off in the 7th, earning the save. 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Because that one's outside.
Yeah, for Rudd here, super important, just get the first batter out. And trust your defense. They've been really good all night.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit in the air to left field. Long run for Kelly and Callahan. It'll be Callahan in left field.
No, that...
Yeah, I was about to say, is that...
Hunsaker?
It could be Enyart.
I think it's Hunsaker.
Trying to get an idea on who's out there and left. It's not Callahan. Try and get that figured out for you. But for now, it's 1 out, and now a grounder to Burns, who will try to make that 2 outs. Great scoop by Eisenstadt.
Yeah, he's been great all year. We haven't had a ton of crazy throws by these Bucs infielders. That's why they're so good. But the ones that have been low, they have been handled by not just Eisenstadt, but Carl O'Toole when he's at first base.
Spotted the number 1 on that jersey, so that is Riley Hunsaker. Makes a nice play, testing that hamstring to get things started. And a swing and a miss from Perez. Rudd looking for another 1, 2, 3. Enyart, all 3 of his frames were 1, 2, 3. Rudd looking to keep that train moving along. No balls and a strike to Perez. That one floats outside.
Callahan had that 1 base hit, but, or excuse me, not the base hit, but the drop third strike, and was able to get around, but it's just had a tough day with the strikeout and a couple ground outs, but I'm not sure why he'd be pulled.
Just a tad outside now, 3-1 to Perez, and definitely don't want to let someone reach via walk in a game where hits have been so tough to come by. Just 2 for the minors so far, 3-1, and that's going to hurt a little bit. Perez appears to be okay, though.
Perez struck out in his last at-bat, but those 2 flyouts, he still looked really uncomfortable versus Rummery and then Enyart, who finally struck him out. So even though he got ahead 3-1, wouldn't be surprised if Rudd can put him away right here.
Payoff pitch with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Rudd trying to finish off the minors here. And instead, Perez draws a walk, so Rudd will have to face a 4th man here in this 9th inning, and it's Dom Patrizi.
Patrizi with 2 strikeouts also has the line out to right field. Even with the 2-out walk, still feel pretty comfortable that the Bucs pitching staff can get it done. Andrew Rudd has looked really good all year too.
Perez at first, Patrizi at the plate. Fouled over our heads, 0-1. Good start for Rudd. Don't want to get another guy on and get those worries going because this is such a tightly contested game. You want these Bucs to come to the plate with this thing still tied. Limit the stress as much as possible. And quickly ahead, 0-2.
And with 5 hits for the Bucs and just the 2 for the Miners, yes, the Bucs have looked a little bit better. But in terms of just how the game has gone, it's been pretty even. Both pitching staffs have been really dominant. The Miners have been able to get guys on base, whether it's the walks or the hits. Just haven't been able to get them around.
0-2 in the air to right field. Andrew Lamb scampering towards the line. He lays out, but just beyond his reach.
And off the bat, I thought it was going to be a for sure out, but of course that ball tailing away and has got some spin, so
Lamb gave it all he could, went Superman mode and slid on the grass, but about 2 or 3 feet away from his outstretched glove, and the entire Bucs defense will have to come back as Patrizi stays alive. Rudd still in a great spot, 0-2. Trying to send things to the bottom of the 9th, still scoreless. 0-2 to Patrizi. Strike 3 called. Rudd does send things to the bottom of the 9th, still scoreless. When we come back, the Bucs look for their first walk-off win of the season. Back for the bottom of the 9th inning. A couple changes defensively for the Miners. Patrizi goes from 3rd to 2nd, and Bisaccia enters the game to play 3rd base as Ryan Richard is removed. Still Luke Smith on the bump. Brody Briggs, Josh Hankins, and Zane Kelly for the Bucs. Tie game in the bottom of the 9th. No runs for either side. 2 hits for the Miners, 4 for the Bucs. See if one of these Bucs can be a hero, or if they can string some things together as a whole, or who knows, maybe it'll just be that one big blast.
Yeah, any way you draw it up, but tied at 0. Any way you can get it done, doesn't matter. It could be sloppy.
Lefty-lefty matchup, grounded foul down the first base line, now 2-1.
Yeah, and I know that it's not the best thing to say, but with how tough it is to be getting runners on base, starting with 2-0, would have liked to see Briggs just take that pitch. Didn't look like it was right down the middle at all either. Even though if it's called a strike, still take that chance you get a 3-0 count to start, but now you have a 3-1 count.
Yep, Briggs in a great spot. This is Luke Smith's 3rd inning of work. Hasn't issued a free pass yet, but that could change with one more miss to Brody Briggs. 3-1 to the Bucs catcher. Fouled straight back.
And Briggs had that long at bat where he walked against Timmerman, and that loaded the bases with 2 outs. Of course, the Bucs were not able to get a runner around to score. That was a really long at bat, and you're starting to be a pretty lengthy at bat, but just love to see him battle, get himself on base any way he can.
Sixth pitch of this at bat, 27th in total from Luke Smith, and strike three called on a pitch that looked a couple of inches outside, but Briggs here's a late strike three call from the home plate umpire.
Yeah, but that pitch has just been called fairly consistently the past as of we get later into the game, and some pitchers have been going out there and fishing for strikes, and they've gotten it from the home plate umpire. So if you're Briggs, you just gotta try to foul that ball off a little bit.
This one, an easier strike call down the middle, and maybe these umpires are trying to go home, but they can't do that till somebody scores. Hankins is 1 for 3 with the hardest hit ball we've seen today. He takes a strike.
Yeah, and Briggs probably wished he had fouled that last one off, and Hankins, I would assume, wishes he would try to put a barrel on one of these pitches. Looked pretty tempting.
Hankins way behind 0-2, and he goes down on 3 pitches with the caught foul tip.
Yeah, that just wasn't the best at bat for Hankins. Didn't really look like he wanted to be competitive the first couple pitches and try to go fishing upstairs for that third one, and it seemed like Smith just totally overpowered him.
So now Zane Kelly, who has homered off Luke Smith before, but Luke Smith a dominant strikeout of Kelly the first time around today. Tonight, I guess I should say. Kelly going down with a bit of an awkward swing, but ahead 1-0. After Kelly, it's back to the top with Will Burns.
I think I remember that home run being a hanging breaking ball.
Yep.
I think that's what Zane Kelly said after the game. Maybe he can get another hanger.
Went with the breaking ball, wasn't a hanger, and Durand dropping it, not doing his pitcher any favors. Kelly ahead 2-0.
And the bad thing about it is Luke Smith, given that there's not many home runs, I would assume he's only given up 1 or maybe 2. But he definitely remembers that one from Zane Kelly, and I'm sure he knows to pitch very carefully.
Finds the outside corner, good pitch that time. Kelly 0-2 with a walk. The 2-1. Way too far outside.
And maybe he's remembering that a little bit too much and is trying to tiptoe around Zane Kelly. He knows what happened that last time. He gave up just the 1 home run. That was all the way back in the second game.
Well, he avoids the home run, but it costs him a base. Kelly over to first. We know he's a speedster, so we'll keep an eye on him as the leadoff man, Will Burns, comes to the plate. Maybe a little 2-out magic here for the Bucs in the bottom of the 9th.
And this is going to prompt either a mound visit or a pitching change. But you're Luke Smith now thinking you'd probably wish you had attacked Zane Kelly, because even though you gave up that home run, still lefty-lefty matchup and had him fold the first at bat. They saw each other back in the 7th inning where he struck out Zane struck out Zane swinging. A little surprised now. Of course, he would have to face a righty, but it looks like he won't be facing him.
Yeah, new pitcher coming on for the Miners as Luke Smith's day is done. We'll let you know who it is and bring you the at-bat against Will Burns when we come back. The Miners started this game with a Nebraska Cornhusker, and now they bring in another. It's Ryan Harrihill, the big righty, 6'4", 215. Vic, what do we know about him?
Harrihill is set to make his 8th appearance. 2 of them have been starts, but mostly from the bullpen. He's 1-1 in his decisions. 15 1/3 innings, 12 hits, 9 runs, or 8 earned runs. Good for a 4.70 ERA, but looked incredible his last time out versus these very Bucs.
Yeah, just 2 days ago, struck out the side in 1 inning of work, and back in that doubleheader, also pitched in game 2, 2 strikeouts and 2 scoreless innings that day. So he's pitched well against these Bucs over his last couple of times out, but back on June 24th, he did give up 4 hits and 3 earned runs in 3 innings, so hopefully the Bucs can tap into that. He comes into this game with Zane Kelly at first, representing the winning run here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be the leadoff man, Will Burns, to greet Harrihill. Slow breaker, misses.
A great time to break out of a little funk by Will Burns. Just hasn't been swinging it as great as of late, but there's still spurts in there where we know he's still a really good hitter.
Another breaking ball hit towards right field, fading away from the foul line and out of play.
That one was a hanger, and Burns almost was able to get a perfect swing on it and just slices it foul.
Bucs have had a lot of great memories this season. A couple of no-hitters, a bunch of wins, but no walk-off wins so far. Maybe tonight that changes. Kelly's going, the 1-1, hit in the air to center. And that'll hang up for Drake Kerr, so it didn't matter that Kelly was going. Burns is the 3rd out of the bottom of the 9th. We head to extras for the first time this season, still scoreless. Still no runs for either side as we head to the 10th inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Andrew Rudd stays out on the bump for the Bucs, and back for some more play-by-play. Here's Vic.
Thank you, Will. First time I've ran out of innings on the scorebook, so we're going to go free balling it here. No scorebook. I don't have any more innings left, and I don't want to make it too confusing if there's something crazy happens and I have to post this scorebook. But Brandon Duran leads off, and he takes the ball inside. It'll be Duran, Cochran, and Scow. That's 6, 7, and 8 due up. Next one is hammered to center field. Deep run for Zane Kelly, still going back, and just shy of the warning track, spins around and makes that grab for out number 1.
Yeah, Kelly got a little bit turned around on that one. Luckily was able to keep his footing and make the play, but things got a little bit complicated out there.
We remind you that Riley Hunsaker is still out there in left field. He took over for Callahan last inning. And this will bring up Ryan Cochran. Cochran's still out there at short. Andrew Rudd still out on the hill. First pitch, it's a called strike to Cochran. Just a walk tonight, but this is lined, and a great pick at short by Will Burns. The throw to first is in time. 2 down.
Great stuff by Burns. He's been a busy man tonight. And in a game like this, you got to make each and every play hit your way, and he's done that.
He smothered that ball, a big smile across his face as he chops it up with Josh Hankins after. Great play. Great stab at it. So quickly 2 down. Batter Riker Scow pitches downstairs for ball 1. Loud first out by Duran. A little bit quieter second out, as this one is skied foul. Scow can reach. It'll be Bisaccia who replaced Richard.
Yep, Bisaccia is in the on-deck circle.
Rudd, the third pitcher the Bucs have used tonight. Next one is lined foul down the third base line. That could have been trouble.
Yep, Bucs catching a bit of a break there. Almost definitely would have been 2 bags for Scow.
And all 7 hits tonight, not surprisingly, are just the singles. No extra base hits. Hard hit balls have been tough to come by. Hard hit balls in the gap have been tough to come by, I should say. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rudd trying to make quick work, but that one is downstairs. Count evens up 2-2. Hankins hugging that line over there at third base now. 2-2. In the dirt again. Payoff pitch to come. Rudd did have a walk last inning. It was to Christian Perez, but quickly erased it with a strikeout to Patrizzi.
If you're Rudd, make him put the ball in play. Make him earn a hit. Don't want to issue a free pass here.
3-2, 2 out. The pitch. Ground ball foul. Hankins still hugging that line at third base, maybe 2 feet off of it. Game has slowed up tremendously. Of course, we are in extra innings now.
Still under 2.5 hours.
3-2. Hit up the middle, and that one's through for a base hit. Scow put some good wood on it, and that is the 3rd base hit for the Miners tonight.
If I'm Rudd, though, I'd rather Scow do that than me miss the zone and he gets to take first. You made him earn it. He hit it up the middle right between Knowles and Burns, but he's still only at first base. Concentrate on Bisaccia and should be able to get out of this thing.
Nick Bisaccia took over in the field last half inning for Ryan Richard. Or excuse me, took over for Patrizzi, who took over for Richard, who started at second base. Bisaccia now playing at third. First pitch he sees, a called strike on the outer half. Call has been more consistent as the night has gone on, and should really have said that the game has slowed down. It really hasn't. Just feels like we've been here for a while because it's now in extra innings, but we really haven't. Next one, another called strike. Rudd way ahead, 0-2.
Would love a strikeout here. Give the guys some good mojo heading to the bottom half.
No balls, 2 strikes to Bisaccia. The pitch from Rudd. Oh, he just missed on the outside part of the plate. Rudd was walking off the mound. He apologizes to the home plate umpire, and the dugout howling over there. Everyone was ready to go.
Was just a little bit further outside than the last couple of pitches.
Still ahead, 1-2. The pitch. Fouled back.
Almost took out the synergy camera over there.
And it, just by the look of it, before the pitch happens, it doesn't even seem like the dugout is super engaged, but you can tell after that last pitch that was almost called a strike that they were all up and ready to greet Andrew Rudd. But we'll see if they can greet him right now. 1-2. Yes, they can. He went around. Strike 3 called. Andrew Rudd takes care of the Miners here, just allows the 1 base hit. How about we walk this game off in the bottom half? We head to the bottom of the 10th. Still scoreless here at Anchorage. Bottom half of the 10th. And extra innings here, but this is the last normal extra inning. We have this sudden death if the Bucs cannot score this inning, Will.
Yeah, we haven't seen it for ourselves, but the way we understand it, the away team, being the Miners, would come to the plate for the top of the 11th with a runner on first. That would be the last man who was retired, so Nick Bisaccia, unless he's pinch run for. And if they score, they win, and if they don't, they lose. Simple as that. The Bucs would not get to the plate, and in a pitcher's duel like that, you would think you'd think a huge advantage for the Bucs, but maybe Carlone, Lamb, and Hunsaker can make it a moot point.
Yeah, let's not have to worry about that and just put things to rest here in the bottom half of the 10th. Like you said, 2, 3, and 4 due up, starting with Carlone, who had a base hit in his last at-bat. Did not get out of the infield, but still was hit pretty hard towards second base. First pitch from Harehill, who's still out there on the mound, is outside for ball 1. Harehill came in last inning and was able to get the fly ball from Will Burns. That ended the threat in the 9th, but not so much of a threat, just a runner aboard at first in Zane Kelly. 1-0 is downstairs. Harehill struck out the side in his 1 inning just 2 nights ago against the Bucs. Obviously helped keep the Bucs scoreless in that 1-0 win for the Miners. 2-0, outside, ball 3.
And you could understand if they're maybe a little scared to pitch to Carlone, but at the same time, you really want to put the leadoff guy on?
Carlone is a lefty, but you don't have many righties coming up after him. Actually, is a long time before you see your next righty. Here's the 3-0, nowhere near. 4 straight balls. And that brings up another lefty in Andrew Lamb. Then Ryan Callahan, lefty. Tommy Eisenstadt, yep. Peyton Knowles, you betcha. And Brody Briggs, how about that? Josh Hankins all the way down in the 8-hole. It's the first righty that Harehill would see. But hopefully by that time, the Bucs will have already won the game.
And we know that Carlone can run. Over there at first base, a righty on the mound. Definitely something to keep an eye on.
But the way that Harehill's been pitching these first 4 pitches this inning, he's pretty wild. So maybe the Bucs wait a second, see if they can get a wild pitch first. But I do like your thinking.
I like yours as well.
Lamb squares to bunt, pulls it back. Wisely so, that pitch is way upstairs.
And same thing goes for the bunt. You know, if he can't find the zone, I don't want to give him an out. So maybe wait till you see a strike before you really try to lay one down. Wouldn't be surprised to see Lamb show it and maybe still pull it back, even if it looks like it's something over the zone.
1 ball, no strikes. Not a big lead for Carlone at all. Lamb squares again. That one's way too far outside, and Harehill is missing nowhere near, and that's going to prompt a quick mound visit from Duran.
And now if I'm Lamb, I really don't think he should be laying one down, even if it's a strike. Got to make Harehill show an ability, at least in this inning, to throw strikes. His first 6 pitches have all missed. And don't want to give him an out on just 1 strike with obviously a bunt being a decently easy play that you're giving the defense.
And I previously said that Hankins was the next righty that Harehill would face. It actually is Riley Hunsaker who's on deck. He would face no, excuse me, Hunsaker is the lefty. It slipped my mind. Haven't seen him batting a good bit tonight, coming into the game late. Lamb squares again. That one is too far outside. A good eye. Yeah, Hunsaker, lefty.
I mean, I hope I'm not crazy. Now Lamb cannot put this down, right? You got to make him throw 2 strikes. Make him throw a strike, and then you can lay down the second.
He does square, but he pulls it back, and it's a called strike. Probably a good decision by Lamb.
Not only was it a hard pitch to get down, but make him throw another strike here. You can square again, and if it's a strike, sure, lay it down, but you're making him throw 2 strikes now if you're going to lay this one down, as opposed to just the 1 if you laid that pitch down.
3-1 count. Squares again. This is way too far outside. Andrew Lamb has got a base on balls.
Perfect execution that time from Lamb. Such good discipline there at the plate. And now Hunsaker, welcome to this game, huh?
How about it? A huge spot. Nobody out. 2 men are on base. And now maybe another pitching change.
I don't think that's head coach Taylor LeBrun. Maybe pitching coach Steve Hecker, and maybe just giving a little bit of a scouting report on Hunsaker.
And this is going to bring all the base runners in. Carlone, Lamb, and of course Dunham, Sanagorski, both base coaches meet with Coach Springman to strategize what they want to do here. Runners at first and second, nobody out for Riley Hunsaker. His first crack of this game. First at bat. Like I said, have not seen him up at the plate as much, or in the field in general, just with that hamstring injury. And of course, that's why it slipped my mind that he was not a righty. It's so easy to think, it would be so easy to think that everyone's almost a lefty. I mean, it seems like almost every lineup the Bucs put out, there seems to be at least half the guys being lefty. Pretty ridiculous when you think about how many teams don't have that luxury.
Works out well against Harehill now.
So Hunsaker digs in a huge spot after a big IL stint with that hamstring injury. Wouldn't it be great? He's going to square around. He lays down a nice one. And it's Bisaccia at third base who makes the play, but 2 runners advance.
Yeah, perfect bunt that time from Hunsaker, and these fans are making some noise and appreciation.
Especially that dugout over there. They love what they're seeing out of Hunsaker. He's able to get that sac bunt down, and yeah, everyone at the top step. They know how important that is. And now just the winning run standing 90 feet away. Of course, that was Bisaccia making that play instead of Patrizi, who moves over towards second. The batter is Tommy Eisenstadt, and what we've known about him so far tonight, he's been swinging at the first pitch a lot. Infield comes in, play is at 4. First pitch, ground ball foul. First pitch swinging.
To your Eisenstadt, doesn't matter how you do it, just find a way to get Carlone home here.
Walk to Carlone on 4 pitches and Andrew Lamb on just 5. The 0-1 pitch to Eisenstadt. In the dirt, a great stop by Duran.
Duran's got to be at his best right now. Imagine that if Carlone comes home on a wild pitch. These pitching staffs pitching so well all game, and that's how this tie is broken. The Bucs will take it any way they can get it.
All 4 infielders on the grass. Play would be at home. See if Carlone wants to go, though. Does have a decision to make. 1 ball, 1 strike. Harehill brings it. In the dirt again. 2 balls, 1 strike.
If you're the Miners, I could see why they'd want to pitch around Eisenstadt. Not only is he a great hitter, but his run doesn't mean anything, and you set up the double play at every base.
It's a good point. There is 1 out, but Peyton Knowles has got speed, so it'd be tough to draw the infield back to their double play depth. But first Eisenstadt, 2-1, fouls it out of play.
A little surprised they gave him something to hit there. I mean, even Lamb's run at second doesn't mean anything, so why not give yourself the force? Make things easier on yourself. Now with 2 strikes, obviously a little bit different, but just interesting decisions.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down for Tommy Eisenstadt. Infield in. The pitch. Swung on and missed. He gets Carlone on a nasty breaking ball. Went with the back foot breaking ball. So 2 down quickly for Peyton Knowles, and this would be a huge missed opportunity for the Bucs if they can't get a run.
Big spot here for PK. With 2 outs, would expect Harehill and the Miners to pitch to him, and PK with a couple of RBIs a few games ago, and would love to add to that tally here.
2 down. First pitch for Peyton Knowles from Harehill. Here it is, and he fouls it away.
Harehill done a much better job over the last couple of batters finding the zone.
4 pitch walk to Carlone and a not very competitive at bat to Andrew Lamb. Harehill set at the belt now. The 0-1 pitch. Up and away, good eye by Knowles.
And we know Knowles is not going to do too much up there. He will take a walk if that's what's given to him, and let Brody Briggs have a chance.
Yep, Briggs on deck. So a long way from that possibility. 1-1. In the dirt now. Good stop by Duran. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I'm feeling the tension from up here.
I feel it too. Butterflies for sure. About at 2 hours, 40 minutes now as this game is starting to slow down. Miners just 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Bucs 1 pitch away from winning it. 2-1 to Knowles. That's up and away. Hitter's count now.
And even though that base is open at first, if that's the case, and then you walk the next guy, the Bucs win. So that is the one downside of pitching around Peyton Knowles.
Of course, Briggs doesn't even have that catcher's gear on, wants to assume that he's going to have a chance to hit. But Brody Briggs will send us home happy. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hill ready. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Knowles wanted every piece of that, but comes up empty.
Yeah, it's a big swing from Knowles. All you need is a base hit to bring Carlone home. See if he shortens up with 2 strikes.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Bucs down to their final strike here in the 10th inning. Hill set. Knowles ready. The payoff. Downstairs for ball 4, and the bases are full of Bucs. And it's Brody Briggs. And nowhere to put him. It's his opportunity right here, right now.
Briggs has walked twice and singled. Reached 3 times in a game with such few base runners. That is really impressive.
So Briggs versus Hill. Righty-lefty in favor of Briggs at the dish. Bases loaded, 2 down. First one's fouled away. Carlone at third, Lamb at second, Knowles at first. All coming by a walk.
Bisaccia letting Carlone step away from third a little bit. Be careful of a wild pitch.
0-1. Ground ball out to second. Patrizzi has that, no problem. The underhand toss is in time. The Bucs leave 3 stranded on the base pass as we head to the 11th inning here in Anchorage. Sudden death coming up when we come back.
Welcome back for the 11th inning. Andrew Rudd still on the bump for the Bucs. It'll be his 3rd inning of work, and like we talked about, it's sudden death time. Nick Bisaccia, the last man at the plate for the Miners, will be over at first base. Drake Kerr at the plate. The Miners, if they score this inning, they win. The Bucs will not bat in the bottom half. However, if the Miners fail to score, the Bucs still don't bat in the bottom half because the Bucs would come home with the win. Burns and Knowles up the middle at double play depth as Rudd faces off against Drake Kerr, who shows bunt, but it's foul down the first base line.
Yeah, I think we all expected that to probably happen from Drake Kerr. He's a speedster, and he can lay down a mean bunt. No better opportunity than right now to try to lay down one.
Yeah, normally with him it would be in this position for most guys it would be just get one down, get the guy over, but with him he could reach safely too, and even though his run doesn't matter, the out certainly does. 0-1 pitches outside. No throw over to first, but Briggs thought about it. Like I was saying, if Kerr reaches safe at first, doesn't matter from his run standpoint. but the Bucs would then still have no outs. Bisaccia over there at first. Kerr showing bunt early this time. He pops this one up, but no Buck will be able to get to it. A little bit of excitement from me, and I think the entire Bucs dugout as that one came up in the air.
Yeah, later in the game, you could feel the intensity building. Every little thing is going to be heightened by that dugout over there. The Bucs immediately yelling that ball's up in the air, trying to help Briggs and Eisenstadt let them know to try to track down that ball. But fortunately for Kerr, that one's way out of play.
And just helping with communication, which you love to see in here. Kerr, Wilcox, and McCausland. Still Andrew Rudd. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bunt down. Briggs calls everyone off, gathers in a high throw, and they say that Eisenstadt came off the bag. He's arguing it vehemently, but I don't think he's going to win this argument.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to win it either, but I thought he got it down. It looks like he did. Eisenstadt's a tall guy. I'm a little bit surprised that he didn't get it down at all. And if you didn't see, Briggs barely had a grip of that baseball. I'm surprised he even made a decent throw to first.
And that'll go down as a bunt single, I'd have to imagine.
Yeah, and Springman is pleading his case over there, but not really sure what could be done. The umpires will gather now, so this is a little bit interesting. And immediately I saw his foot come off, so I wasn't surprised that that was the call, but it did seem like it barely came off the bag. And I know that Kerr is a fast runner, but it seemed like he came back just before that. And Eisenstadt is never one to be hot at an umpire. Does not show a lot of emotions at all, but he was definitely hopped up about that call over there at first, which makes me think even more that he's got the right call in mind. But it'd be tough for the home plate umpires to overturn it, and they're going to call him out. So he is out, and I'm sure that Coach LeBrun is going to come out there, and he is. He's going to have a word with the home plate umpires, and they knew once they changed that call that this would be a heated discussion. The Bucs fans howl. Third base coach for the Miners is upset too, and rightfully so. You do not see a lot of changed calls like this happen on the field. But of course, that one, Eisenstadt was adamantly telling the umpire what he saw and that he thought that he was correct. And I guess that it would have to have been the other field umpire, maybe the home plate umpire helping, but I don't think the home plate umpire has the best look at that baseball.
In all honesty, I'm shocked that they made that call. I'm shocked that they changed the call. We never really see those arguments pay off, but the different umpires seeing different things, and I can see why Coach LeBrun would be pretty upset.
Yeah, and it's not a super heated conversation by the first base line by Coach LeBrun and the home plate umpire, but it's definitely not a nice one either, and he's got to be careful a little bit, but I'm sure that they would have not the hardest leash on him considering what just transpired.
And at the end of the day, the Kerr and the Miners still do get the job done in terms of the sacrifice bunt, but they're going to feel a little bit hard done here. Things getting a little bit testy.
Oh, he's about to get run. If he keeps going, yep, and they just tossed him.
It was a soft toss out.
It was a very soft toss, and you kind of
now he's really going to give him an earful, I would think. Once you're tossed, might as well tell him what you have to say, huh?
Yeah, and either the home plate umpire told you, gave him a big leash on that play, or on that call. But at the end of the day, he wants to get his money worth, and he's going to come out and chirp all these umpires now. Yep.
He's really upset with the home plate umpire, and the home plate umpire is saying, it's time for you to go. And I like Coach Montez here having a chat with Andrew Rudd, who was throwing some warm-up tosses throughout this whole thing, but just calm his pitcher down. Nobody warming in the bullpen, so the game is Rudd's, but calm him down, explain the situation. You've got a runner in second and Nick Bisaccia with Chase Wilcox at the plate. One out here in the top of the 11th. The Bucs needing to leave Bisaccia stranded.
Looks like some extracurriculars going on there too out of our view. I'm not sure what the coach for the Miners is up to, but I'm sure he's trying to make his way out of here. But it's interesting because when I first heard of the sudden death, a runner on first base and nobody out, it immediately makes me think, especially now with the Bucs pitching staff doing so well tonight and just the leading days coming up to this, I think that it gives the Bucs a huge advantage. But now in just a matter of a sac bunt. It seems like the advantage would technically be with the Miners. One down, a runner at second base. I know they haven't scored, but one base hit, one lousy bloop fly, and you could have yourselves a W up in the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'd have to lean towards wanting to be the home team, especially if they don't bunt. You could get that double play, but even with the bunt, I always said I think the most neutral option would be a runner on second and one out, and that's where we are after the sac bunt. So Chase Wilcox at the plate, Nick Bisaccia at second. The pitch from Rudd hit high in the air on the left field line, foul. And a lot of noise coming from all over. The Bucs dugout, the Miners dugout, the fans here at Mulcahy Stadium. They want to leave here with a win.
Yeah, and Sanagorski coaching like a basketball coach. He's out in front of the dugout giving orders to the outfielders, telling them where to stand, and Dunham's out there too. Everyone is at the top step.
Want to give their players the best chance to make a play here. 0-1 to Wilcox. Swung on and missed.
Look how shallow Zane Kelly over there is in center field. And all the outfielders are really shallow right now.
Makes total sense. Got to be ready to throw home on a single. Who cares about a double?
Double's going to score him either way, really.
And if you're far enough back, so would a single. 0-2. Hit hard out to right field. Andrew Lamb on his horse, and that's going to get down. The Miners are going to win the ball game. Bisaccia rounds third. He steps on home plate, and the Bucs' first sudden death experience is not a pleasant one. A walk-off single for Chase Wilcox.
Just unfortunate ending, and at least that's how it ended, where it was a really hard-hit gapper line drive, and it wasn't something that was super easy to track down, but the Bucs could have tracked down. And it looks like one of the Miners guy hurt himself on the celebration out there. That's tough to see in a gray sweatshirt.
Yeah, maybe somebody that was already a little bit banged up, not in uniform, but we came into this broadcast talking about how the Bucs needed to get the bats going, and it just never happened.
Yeah, the Miners, got to hand it to them. They have really good pitching, but the opportunities, and just there's so many opportunities for the Bucs, and it honestly would be easier to say that, you know, the bats really need to get going after a game where they had no one on base at all. But here, you've got base runners on, you've got a handful of hits, and you've got the walks, but just unfortunately not able to get a single runner around. But going back to that base hit, at least the Miners really earned it. It wasn't a super high pop-up that if the outfielders were back, they could have tracked it down. This one was a for sure double all the way long, and just unfortunate for Andrew Rudd, who's pitched well all year. He happens to get the first real big hit off of him, and it ends up being the biggest hit tonight.
Yeah, difficult situation. Obviously, the runner on base, not even really his own when you think about it, as he was placed over there at first base and moved over to second just because Drake Kerr did his job with the sacrifice bunt. A tough night, a tough loss that is definitely going to sting, but luckily for the Bucs, right back in action tomorrow night, back here at home against the Oilers. That game will be at 6 o'clock. As for the Miners, they will be traveling to face the Chinooks also at 6 o'clock. Bucs fall by a score of 1-0 for Vic Masslia. I'm Will Hopkins. We'll see you next time.